All right, we thank everybody for attending this week. We're going to go into our Q&A session. This is a Q&A session style we'll be doing this week for the topic that we have for trust employer. We're going to learn how you turn your trust into an employer. I know it may sound redundant or it may sound basic or plain, but for some reason, for the last 6 to 7 years, it has been a difficult uh, transfer of our mind into working for our employer. We're going to basically call it an employer to keep it easy for what we are used to seeing and hearing all the time. But today we're going to really break it down into how it looks to you if you were explaining it to a child. So when you have an employer, I'm going to talk about how it worked out for me up to the point where I've been able to live without the system, or we're going to say the bank, or working with the government for over 6 to 7 years. Actually, it's been a little bit longer than that. But I had never understood how to utilize the trust. So this is new for me since 2018 going into 19. So when I first came into the information that I learned about the trust, this happened in 2017. So my information is going back as far as 2017 with results of calling the IRS, responding to them responding to me, things like that, making mistakes, getting frivolous filings. I've got all the different things that have happened. But I did learn my problem was is that I had to eventually work for something or someone. That's really the whole point that I want to bring out today. So we want to get a lot of the information of questions out as we get into more introductions. I'll first introduce myself. My brand and my name is Wallace Lewis Temple Jr. It's the same name that was given to me on my birth certificate, my social security card, and my ID. The reason I say that's a brand is because everyone has a brand. If you have a name, you have a brand. So your first brand was yourself, right? So our mother and our father, they either gave us to the system or they took us out of the system. So I wanted to start off with that information first to show how this looks. If we had to say this is a reality, I'm sorry, my mic must have went out. Can you hear me now? Yeah. All right, there we go. So what happened is I got into the trust about 2017, 2018. And that is what got me to the point where I am now to actually utilize the information that I have without the government, without the tax system, without the USA. So we got to get to the point where I'm saying testimonial that our goal is to come out of their system. So if you're here and you have these types of instruments, which we call the revocable living trust, eventually your goal is to come out of the system. Now, once you get out of the system, you go back in the system from what I'm going to explain today of what you're doing to utilize your employer. So the whole point of your employer is for you to get a job, for you to work. But a lot of us are not thinking that I can work, I can get a job. I don't have any money. I don't have W-2s. I don't have 1099s. These are the things we're going to overcome today by making sure that you know for sure that you have an employer. And you're going to also understand how you can utilize this employer for your bills and your expenses. Now, the reason I wait so long to give out my information because I always test it on myself first. So everything that I say, I can prove with documentation and live real time fact. So that means I can log into my account, I can prove I have the account, I can use the account. That's what I'm trying to help everyone understand when you deal with, we say, your employer. So that is what the call is about. We're going to talk about your employer. The next thing, lastly, we'll be talking about is your bank and your financial system and how you are the financial system and you're the brand and you have to utilize your name like you're the brand. And once you get yourself right, you also got to do it for your wife and you also got to do it for the children, right? So there's so much work. So if we're taking so long to get ourselves right, it's going to take a long time, I guarantee you, to get everybody else. So that's what we're going to break it down today to give you the part as best as I can. But I open up for questions and answers starting off because this is more of a live presentation chat. So we can get live real time feedback to kind of pick everybody's brain to see where you all are. So, does anybody have any introductions you want to start off with? And what led you to understanding the revocable trust, so understanding your name, and just raise your hand or unmute your mic at this point.
Yeah, I currently have a revocable living trust with the certified with the county and bank account.
I have a question. My name is Lynette, and I guess I'm just trying to understand the difference of between the irrevocable trust and a revocable trust, and basically how to set it up because I need to know the process. I hope I'm on the right call, but that's what I was hoping when I joined to learn a little bit more.
Absolutely. So we'll be doing Q&A. So I think the proper way will be to just click the hand button if you all need to speak or anybody speak so we know who's first or second. So to answer that first question for the guy, he said he has the trust and he has the bank account. Okay.
That was me. I'm sorry, I didn't put my hand up. I just put it up now. My
No
bad.
problem. But we mentioned you have the trust in the bank account. So what's
Yeah,
next? What's the next thing? What do you have? What's next to do?
I'm just following your lead. You asked about the trust, so that's what I was responding to.
Right, right. So we're gonna learn that you have an employer. Where's your employer? Because you're gonna be asked this question once you go back into their world. So we're gonna learn like you come out of their system first. That's what this whole thing is about. Come out of their system, then you go back into their system. Now you got to communicate, right? So you say you have the trust and you have the bank account. So what's next? I wanted to ask you this question. Okay, so that's not good, you all. You got to know your steps because you can't go back in their world and you stop. I want to make sure this is real time. Today's Sunday, so tomorrow the world opens again. Monday through Friday, they're open. All right, so let's get to that second question. We'll have you all ponder upon that. Like you can't get fumbled on your steps once you go back into their system. So let me go to the screen to show right here this part right here to answer the question to the other question. They understand the difference between the revocable and the irrevocable. And I understand we get this question a lot. So on this call, we specifically only teach you and help you with the revocable. We don't talk about the irrevocable because we want you to be on the living side. The living side is the revocable side. All right. So the living is what we're gonna say you're of the living. So that is why we speak on specifically the revocable. And you all can see on the screen it tells you the revocable can be changed. It's just that simple. It's an unlocked trust. You're unlocked. You're unlimited. You have flexibility. You can do a lot of things. If it's irrevocable, right? If it's irrevocable, the terms can't be changed. It's a locked out document. The document can't be messed with anymore. It's locked. So we want to make sure everybody fully grasps, because I say it different ways every time I present this screen. But this does protect your assets from creditors, which people say, well, I'm trying to get away from them. Well, okay, that's one great thing about it. It does protect your assets from creditors. All right. So I want to make sure we got the differences and exactly understanding the irrevocable versus the revocable to answer that second question about the revocable or the irrevocable trust. So any thoughts to that irrevocable trust? Okay, so here we go. So that is the answer to that. Anyone else want to go into ponder? Anybody else had a similar question dealing with irrevocable? Any questions about irrevocable while we're still on the screen? Come on now. I know y'all have some irrevocable trust. People ask about it all the time, and I'm trying to figure out how you want it. I want to help you use it, but I want you to use it correctly.
Yeah,
Oh, go
so
ahead.
then I'm gonna go first. So Brother Wallace, why would you use the irrevocable trust simultaneously? So when you have your revocable living trust and you have your sole prop, in which way would the irrevocable trust step into action?
That's a great question. So the way the irrevocable trust would step into action is if it's under my revocable trust. So I'll make the irrevocable trust a beneficiary of my revocable, right? But I wouldn't put my revocable under the irrevocable because I can't change it, right? So if I place the revocable under the irrevocable, it can't be changed. I hope that adds up to people, because it's very important that we all don't get stumped on this irrevocable. It's like, hey, I'm not going to do the revocable because I hear so much about it. I hear that you're not supposed to do it, right? So we want to get the discouraging factor of the irrevocable trust, out of here first. So then we can get into the employer. Go ahead. We got Alicia and then we got Lynette again.
Okay, so I literally just did this and I did it backwards. And I sent it into the IRS saying that my revocable was underneath my revocable. So how would I go about curing
Wait, you
that?
said the same thing twice. Let's go back.
I I just sent this into the IRS and I did the 8832 and I put the revocable underneath the irrevocable. And so how would I go about curing that? And would I just send a letter and update that with the IRS, or is there a, a form that I have to fill out?
Right. You do it all over, but this time you do it revocable so you can change it.
Okay, so just send another 8832 in and correct the record.
Right. I mean, if that's the route you want to stay with, because some people are against the revocable. So we're not saying it's the answer for everyone. We're just saying, hey, if you want to do these steps that we're talking about, and you're probably gonna need this revocable living trust. So yes, you're gonna have to make your revocable living trust the umbrella. I know some people are new to this, but your revocable living trust is like the umbrella for all of your trusts and your property, even your LLCs. Will break down even if you have 3 or 4 LLCs. The revocable trust is still the one in charge over all the LLCs.
Okay, so just so I have my mind right around this, the revocable owns everything else. So everything is umbrellaed underneath that revocable. So the irrevocable, the LLCs, anything else is going to be underneath that revocable. So at the top you have the revocable living trust, and then underneath it you'll have your irrevocable and your LLCs. and your sole props or whatever you set up?
Everything. You know, you don't set up sole props. You are the sole prop. You know, your all of your businesses, they may change, right? What happens if you don't, you know, you can't change the terms? What happens? It's called a breach of contract. So I'm just helping people with this part with the irrevocable because I know we sometimes get stumped upon this right here. Because at the end of the day, you have to do everything when you do the revocable because it's your trust. Okay, we got Lynette. Go ahead, Lynette.
Okay, I think you kind of answered, and I don't want you to have to reiterate what you just said, and I think that's very informational. But I think my attorney basically advised me not to do it irrevocable because I have properties and I don't want nothing to change with the property. I want it to stay in the family. But he said, don't do a irrevocable one, but do a revocable one. And I'm like, I wanted to do that one, but you basically said, just make sure I re-understand it, that the irrevocable can be put under the irrevocable just in case you want to change the terms. But the irrevocable means you can't change it. So the homes can be under this one, but not the LLC. LLC should go under the revocable. Am I correct?
That's the thing. We think everything should go under the revocable.
Even the homes as well?
Correct. Because how are you going to pay off the homes? How are you going to get your beneficial interest?
Oh, I didn't know about that. I guess I was just misunderstood by some people saying that you don't want to change no one in the terms of your homes. So if you wanted to stay as a building generational wealth, so anything may happen to me that nobody can't change it. It stays the same even if I'm dead and gone.
But that's what happens to the revocable trust once something happens to us and we're no longer here in the living realm. The terms become irrevocable. That's how it works.
Oh, it does. The revocable. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, thank you for your clarification. I appreciate that.
Oh, no worries. This is found in everyone's state. So I want to make sure everyone has the access to the state. 1 second. All right. So any other thoughts to this? So we get back to the employer. So I want to get to the employer information. So you're actually now the employer by getting this employer. Not sorry, I said it backwards. You're actually now working for your employer. So by working for your employer, you have to get a job. You have to start working. That's the first thing they're going to ask you once you go back into their system. So that's where we are right now. We're learning that you have to put all this stuff together yourself, and you even have to find your job. So this job that you're finding is this trusted employer. Who is this trusted employer you're going to find?
One's own revocable living trust.
There you go. It has to be your trust that you already have in place. This is why you all go to that website and they give you the what they call again. Um, what they call that? The CP, what is it? CP 575. Anybody know where you get that from?
The IRS.
IRS.
Exactly. So you're getting all these documents from the IRS. So they're telling you how to go back into their system, but you have to do it correctly. That's why I started off that you're the brand. You have to claim yourself. So once you get yourself right, then you can get the trust right. Because a lot of us are jumping right into the trust, but we haven't really got ourselves right. You know, you have to get your name. That's how you claim the beginning of yourself. And we'll get into the banking system later because I know the banking system is very complicated. But I just wanted to answer these questions with diagrams so that we can see these answers, directly. So I had a lot of examples of showing the bills. So I wanted to show some of those bills that you want to put in the name of the trust. And I did this before. This is one because I'm in the capital. I'm in Florida, so I know it works. I just want to make sure that everyone else has access to knowing this work in your county or your state. So you must get this done at some point eventually, but you have to begin to work for the employer. So this is some of your works that you'll be doing as you begin to work for this employer. You'll be learning how to get the utility account. So you want to make sure the utility account is no longer in your name. This is the first step. So if some of us have that employer identification, you want to move that employer identification out of your name, right? So this works for all things, such as some people say the revocable trust, you can. I don't recommend you use the revocable trust all the time for all your bills. We actually do another trust for our courses. When we teach our courses, we teach you how to do about 4 different trusts, and your sole proprietor is one of those trusts. So that's one of the 3. But you learn how to do other trusts. So you go to the IRS, you get the other trust, and you create those businesses, you create those names, and you want to be able to work for those names. So that's what I did when you learn how to get the utility account open for your EIN. So you don't use your social. So I know this sounds interesting. So I want to make sure we closely understand what I'm saying right here. Oh, go ahead. We see Bobby.
Yeah, sorry, Wallace. Can you elaborate why we should only use one, why we should use multiple trusts for multiple utility accounts?
Correct. So I specifically only use my revocable trust for tangible assets, such as assets like a car, some houses, land, physical things. That's what I use the revocable trust for. For all my bills and expenses, I use the other trust. So all my bills and expenses are not in my revocable living trust. EIN. I'm gonna say that. But the EIN still falls under the revocable trust as the owner. So I still have this connection factor. So if someone asks, well, how do you do that part? Well, the key point what I'm making is that the utility bill is not in my name. All right. So I hope that answers the question. So if anybody's asking, I want you all to ask the hard questions now. So what do you need to do this? Do you have the utility bill in your name? And if you do, how do you get yourself out of the individual status? Because that is a individual account. All right. So this is the part that I'm saying this is your employer. This is your work. You have to now do this part for your employer. The employer is that EIN. All right. So this is details. I want to make sure you show the receipts to these things because I know that this can be something that can be convoluting at time, but we want to make sure you have understanding of how this looks. So if you were getting utility account, you do have to get the business account. So just to give you all some clues to how you do it, you're not supposed to be talking to the individual basic customer account, right? So you have to go to the business side of the utility company. Have you all ever thought of that? They actually have totally different applications. I found out they don't even have the same applications when you go in. So just pick my brain, you all. Just want to make sure we are
Yeah,
seeing one of my first screens.
they actually say that on when you call into Georgia Power, if you want to talk to the business or others, they have the business department, so.
There you go. And this is very interesting. So now you have to think of when you talk to them, you're talking on the business side. Cool. Go ahead. We got Lynette.
Yeah, I think I was going to ask a similar question, but for an example, you were saying that you have to the employer is your EIN number, which is your business name. Or is that employer EIN number can be in your birth certificate name? Which one? Can it
That's the
be,
thing. You're taking it out of the birth certificate name because
so you
they
put
have
it in,
jurisdiction over that.
so
Go
when
ahead.
you put it, so when you take it out of the birth certificate name, that means you got to rename it to something else.
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I do have a business and I have an EIN number and I have put some of my utilities in the business name using the EIN number, but someone says that you can do your own name and create an EIN instead of a social security number and own
Right.
that.
But we're saying do a trust because if you don't have a business, it's like you're still putting your name out there.
Okay, got
You
you.
see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you don't have no protection. You just still got your name out there.
Okay, so
I
it's
know
just
people say that, but I don't advise it. I know some people may do that, but it's very interesting when you're using the same name.
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
We got Bobby, and then we got Horace right up.
How
Okay.
do I get my hand?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot my question.
Okay, no worries. Come back around. We got Horace.
Are there any conventions in naming the particular trust for the intangibles outside of the revocable one you would use for tangible goods? I mean, any type of standard conventions on naming it?
Right. So I'm using the same revocable living trust, but my revocable living trust has it doesn't have my name. So I'm using a different name. But when I
Mm,
use my utilities or I use the phone or I use, you know, other things such as bills or expenses, I'm using in a different EIN trust. So I'm not even using the revocable for those.
right. And I'm asking it with those, is there any particular naming convention you can name it whatever as long as it's not your name?
Correct. Well,
Okay.
I recommend as long as it's not your name.
Okay.
My recommendation. Now you can do any name you want. So I like to say do a business. Like make it like, let's say instead of doing this LLC, let me just do this name instead of this LLC. Let me just do this trust. That's what I'm trying to tell people to do.
I see. Gotcha.
But
Now
for
go ahead.
the trust,
Go ahead, Bobby.
so
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, wait, we got Lynette and then we got Bobby, then we got Lynette. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarification. So when you have different EINs, do you also will then have to have a trust instrument and probably also have this recorded at the county, or just do you should have the trust instrument with attached trust bank account, or is it just the EIN?
No, no, Bobby. We're not even in the system yet. This is first day that y'all got the employer. Day one. The same day that y'all got the EIN printout and the date it says on the top, this was the next move.
Yeah, okay.
That's the day the job started, right?
Yes, correct. It's just you was talking about the utilities and that we should have multiple trusts for
Correct.
the
Yeah,
applications.
get it out your name. That's the job. Get the utilities out of your name. You see what I'm saying?
Ah,
Because
okay.
what's
So you
happening,
close.
go ahead.
So you close the utility accounts. You reopen them under the new EIN, but you connect
Ah,
them to the own bank account, or do you have
no,
an
no, no.
extra bank
There's no, you keep going to bank. Where's the bank at in this utility company? They don't care about
account?
a
Yeah,
bank. You see what I'm
yeah. How
saying?
do I pay them?
The utility company asks for cash and money orders. They don't care about the bank.
Yeah, shit. I don't can bring them order any orders.
But you see what I'm asking you, right? I'm asking you, do you really have to have the bank to pay the utility bill?
No. Mm.
Short answer is no. So yes, you all got to get this utility bill. This is the key one. I'm gonna give you all my nets diagram. I just want to get off with the hardest one. We know a lot of people we out here paying utility. Go ahead, Lynette. It's your call next.
Okay, I guess for my case, mine might be a little bit more complicated because when I initially started our business, I actually put it with the last name in my, my husband's last name and my last name. So now I'm looking at the business was established in 2019, and I'm thinking you're saying get it out of your name, but my last name is not actually my birth name. It was my previous marriage name, last name. So I'm wondering, do I need to start all over because all my business account is in that EIN number name? So I'm like, do I need to redo it all over again through the state to change the name? Because I'm just afraid that all my credibility with the business is now under the EIN number that I had established already.
Short answer is no. You can just make the trust an owner on the LLC or the EIN. To answer your question, you create a brand new account. So you don't go to them and try to transfer the account or try to move the account that you have already open to the new account. It's a
Okay.
brand new open account.
So I need to go get a brand new EIN number.
Right. If you don't have one. If you don't
Oh,
have
I have an
this EIN,
EIN number, but
this
that
trust
EIN
EIN.
number.
We're saying specifically the trust. It has
Oh,
to say trust other EIN.
so I have to just go, okay, then I need to go get a new EIN number that's not
Correct.
associated with the business.
That's not associated with anything you already got.
Okay, got you. Okay, cool.
Right. It's a trust. So that EIN
Trust
selection.
EIN number. It's the trust EIN number. You go on the IRS website and get a trust EIN number.
Yeah, I'll show that screen in just a few, just to give clarity to everyone who's listening.
Okay, thank
But
you.
let
Because
me,
I was like, oh, I hope I don't have to change everything.
no worries, but we don't want you all to come in and change anything. We don't want you to think that you have to take away anything that you've already done. This isn't a
Okay,
takeaway or a subtraction. This is an addition. This is
okay,
an
thank you.
update. But for
Thank you.
everybody listen, I just want to make sure we totally say, don't feel like, hey, I don't know anything or I messed everything up. What we're saying is this is a brand new account. So let me go to the screen first. I was going to show you all my next bill, but we're still on utilities and we got a couple of hands that came in. So let's go to Alicia. Got Alicia that's on.
Okay, so when we're doing this, would this be similar to creating a household trust and then we could put the utilities in that household trust as an expense, as well as any phone providers, internet, stuff like that? Am I understanding this correctly?
Hey, yes, absolutely. You're absolutely correct. That is what the intent is. Yes, the phone bill, the lights, utilities, the water bill, everything. That's why we want to show the screen when you all identify with the EIN, the employer. We're going to make sure you didn't select sole proprietor. We didn't tell you to select sole proprietor. We didn't say select partnerships. We didn't say select corporations. And last but not least, LLC. So you can't select those. Those won't work. Then we jump down to trust. So we want to make sure you select under this right here, trust. And then it's going to give you those options to where you can create that brand new business. Any questions on this? Because this can be done tomorrow once the government opens. But right now you can't do it. It's going to say the software is down on Sundays. Anybody have any thoughts of this where you going back into their system? You don't want to go back in their system as corporation. Just to kind of give you all the answer to the clue. So if you chose any of the corporation EINs, they in a way have a court test. I'm going to start saying that because that's the terms they use in their system. They say court tests or they say control test. Those are the two things they test your trust for: the control test and the court test. All right, go ahead, Alicia.
Okay, so are these all going to be, is this going to be a revocable trust that we're setting up for this?
Short answer
Or
is
is it the
no.
other trust?
Yes, the other. Short answer is no. We're not do revocable for this, right? So if you're creating the bills and the expenses, I'm saying not to use the revocable, but to use a other trust for the bills and the expenses.
But that other trust will be revocable itself, right?
Not necessarily. It's an other trust. It just will go under, right? It'll go under the revocable trust.
Okay, so it'll be a different, okay. Well, I would
Uh-huh.
see.
Uh-huh. You see what I'm
So,
saying? So you got to make sure we all clearly don't use the same revocable EIN for the utility account.
Right. But when you create the utility account trust, will it in itself be revocable?
No,
Okay.
you only can create one revocable. The IRS allows you to create one. It'll just say you can't complete the system at some point if you try to create multiple revocable trusts.
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay. What kind of trust would it be?
It's an other. It'll say other.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you have the one that she said earlier was the household. So you have the household trust, the trust that pays the bills for the household. So I gave a screen of this. I wanted to show what it looks like, what you're going to be going through. I'm not going to go through the whole layer of the EIN and how to get it, but I just wanted to show you where you begin to get this at. So the screen I had before that, let me go to the next bill. So any questions or thoughts about the utilities? So last questions we have about the utilities, and we get to our next bill. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, Wallace. I would just like to know when you have your irrevocable connected, does it, because I see it problematic to pay the utilities when there's no bank account associated with the irrevocable trust, or can it, how could you, yeah, pay the utilities out of the irrevocable trust as responsible party?
Right. So you're asking how do I pay the utilities? I just gave you an
Yeah,
answer. You use cash or you use a money order. Right. So the utility
yeah,
company
money
doesn't
orders and
care.
then and mail them. Yeah, okay,
You see what I'm saying? They don't care if you don't have a bank.
gotcha.
Anybody
Thanks.
else have a utility company that don't take cash or money orders?
Well, I know they do. I know a lot of prefer you can pay them online with your business bank account with that EIN number.
Right. But I'm saying, do they really care if you have the bank?
I know they don't. They want if you unless you want to get the bill come to you, then you pay it the way you want to pay it, whether it be cash or you pay it by money order.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna go past that. We're gonna go into another layer of that to show how you can pay those bills without the banking system. We'll get into that as late in a little bit. So the Verizon, as it shows you all the clear example that you can get the EIN to get the business account with Verizon. So that's the phones that you have, such as the brand new phones, right? The brand new phones. So you were supposed to get that brand new phone the next day so you can go to work. So some of us have to get this phone for the trust, for the business, for the employer.
So you're saying that I guess where I'm confused because everything with my business name, I'm sorry, um, Temple, I have business phone in the other one. So for me to go back to work for the employer with this new IN number, I need to get a new business number. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you don't have to change anything, right? You keep that what you have and you go get another one for the household.
Okay, so this one will be for the household, for the business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
gotcha.
Right. The household has to turn into a business.
Oh, okay, okay. I guess I'm just being confused when I got a business is a business, and then now this is a different type of business for just to pay the
Mm-hmm.
bills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your business is not for your household. Make your family a business.
Oh, so this is making your family a business by getting a new EIN number with the trust, and then all your utility bills being paid with the trust.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what about your mortgage and all that other stuff?
I see. Now you're starting to think. See, that's what it gets to that. We'll get into the mortgage. The mortgage is a tangible asset, so we're not talking about that today.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
That's a
cool.
tangible. Go ahead, Bobby.
You talked about it. You said revocable trust, tangible assets.
Right, we're not going to talk about the mortgage today to talk about the bills and expenses. Because a mortgage is actually
Okay.
an asset, actually. But we have to turn our mortgage into an asset. Some of us don't know how to do that. But we're gonna have to have a whole different call about that. But let's just turn your bills. Just turn your bills into assets. So anybody have any questions about how do I get the bill at Verizon? Somebody you may have Verizon right now, but why and how do I get it in the business side? Go ahead. We got EA. Somebody had a name. Their hand raised.
Hey, Wallace, my question, it wasn't exactly that. It was just about the court test you mentioned. Passing the court test. Can you touch on that? I heard like a foreign situs kind of trust, something foreign of non-domestic is the only way to do that. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So the court test is based upon, from what we found after going to the system, the federal tax court system, is they always see if it's a court test and a control test. So the United States government has to have one of the two, or at least two of two. Well, that is all of it if it's two of two. But that is what they call the court test. So if one of the jurisdictions is a court test, that means the court makes a decision for that trust. Now, if it's a control test, the United States has some type of control because let's say the trust has a banking system, but the trust in some form has done something where it was breaching trust. So then the United States government can come in and take control over that trust bank account. That's what we see. Those are the two tests. They have the control test and they have the court test. And some of the times they both fall into both jurisdiction if it goes into the banking system. So I hope I was able to answer that in that format, because it's difficult to understand until you actually experience it or you read a little bit about how that actually works.
Okay. Yeah.
No problem. No problem. All right. So the next thing we were asking ourselves is, hey, do I have the phones? Do I have the phones for the household? Do I have the Verizon account? Some of us have T-Mobile. Some of us have what's the AT&T? Actually, I have AT&T right now. I got another phone for AT&T. So any questions on this part? This is the business. So you open up the business account for the phone. You don't keep it in the social. All right. So this right here, we're going to how I signed for it, and I didn't sign for it under my name. It actually was signed under, which I went over the employer. So let's go back to the employer or the company that was involved with this contract or this ID, just to prove to you all and see how it looks. It actually is in university technicians. So I ended up working for university technicians once the university technicians provided a phone for me to work for it. So that's how I see it in the trust world. I don't see it, no other way, because it just shows you right there. It shows that you work now for the trust. So that's what you need when you get to the phone. So everything that you do with the phones will also be, look at this, back in 2020, I forgot all about this. It'll be through the EIN of the trust. And then you can claim your beneficial interest as the sole, which I'll get into that later, because you got to have your banking system set up next in order to claim the beneficial interest from the trust accounts that you pay all these bills in. But I'm just walking you all this right here to show you the details of how it looks when you get the EIN as the employer. You want that EIN to work for you. You want to work for the EIN. And you work for it as the trustee. Or they say sometimes you're the fiduciary, but I like to just say, just keep it plain. Just be the trustee of the EIN. So that's where I am so far, just giving in some details to some of the bills. So far, I have the utility bill. Next, we got the phone. Any other bill that we're missing right now? Give me another bill, you all. I can see if I can find how that bill would look.
How about the electric bill?
Electric power.
I just did that one. That was our first diagram. Let me pull that up for you all again. Maybe it just seems to be a little bit.
You can do
Water
gas.
bill?
Mm-hmm. So that's how it look for us in our city. We have all of them connected under one. So once you get that one, everything's connected. There we go. See what it says right there? It says utilities. And you get it in the EIN name.
Okay.
You see? You don't get it in your name.
Right.
So you got to turn off those utilities. You don't keep it in your name. You have to turn it off. You got to be without the power for like maybe 3 to 4 hours, maybe. And then they're gonna turn on the new power.
Oh, okay. So I got to turn. Okay.
It's a turn off. So when you go to
Got
your
to turn it
utility
off.
company, you have to actually turn off. You gotta turn in that form that says turn off. Anybody know about that? So it's the same way like you're moving somewhere.
Okay.
So it's very detailed when you get to this part, when you get to the because if you guys are gonna try to call, so you're gonna call tomorrow, you're gonna grab the EIN and be like, hey, I just want to transfer my account to the trust. It's not gonna work. It's letting you all know you're not gonna be able to, it's not gonna work that way if you try to do it that way. They're not gonna transfer it to the trust.
So we have to have it turned off, then then put it in the trust with the EIN.
Exactly. It's a turn off. It's like somebody moving out. The
Yeah.
individual has to move out of the house
Okay.
and then the trust has to move in.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. So we got Lynette and then we got Alicia.
Okay, Wallace, this is Lynette. I just have one more question. Okay, by me creating this trust EIN and I'm going to be working for this trust, what would I define myself as the administrator or the employee for the trust?
A trustee.
So I'm going to define myself as a trustee.
Yes. TTEE.
TT, what is it called? TTE? Oh,
TT,
okay,
two
T.
T's and two E's. That's the way the IRS writes it on the
How do they
documents.
write it? I mean, I'm taking notes. Let me go back.
TT, two it's all it can be all capital letters. TTEE.
TT. That's called trust. What's that abbreviated for?
It's abbreviated for trustee. So you put that after your name and you turn your name into a trustee. That's how you can claim the utility, which I'm going to get into those details in the few for you all after we get through these bills. So
Okay,
you want to pay those bills, right? Pay the bills. So then now you can claim the bills, the B, which we'll get into the 1099B in a second, how you're going to pay those bills with the 1099B. So you pay the
Oh,
bill and you turn in your 1099B also for the utility bill you paid.
Okay.
Think about it. You already paid the utility bills last year,
okay.
but you all are not filing your Bs to claim the bill back.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they already been paid already.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can pay them back, get paid back with using the 1099B
Exactly.
by signing it off as the trustee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But you can't do it as an individual.
No.
No, you have to do it as a trustee of the new EIN number.
Mm-hmm.
But will that trustee be saying that you're the trustee of, say, the bill is in Lynette name?
It can't be in your name. Remember, it's a trust.
No, remember the bill was already paid, right? But if
Well,
the
you got
bill,
to do it in your social. That's going to be a different process we'll talk about.
okay, cool. Okay.
If it's in your social, they already have jurisdiction.
Okay, they have jurisdiction, but this is just
Yeah.
moving forward now. Once you when you now have a bill, so you have to change all of the bills into the trustee onto the new trust. And
Mm-hmm.
then you can pay the bills with the 10 at the end of the year with the 1099B.
Well, you pay your bills regular, you turn in your 1099B, right? And then you claim it back at the end. You see,
Oh,
at the end of the year.
okay, so
It is
that's
kind of like a business expense. So you have
Mm-hmm.
your business, and you all the things that the business pays can be refunded back to him as business expenses. So yeah.
Well, these are investments. These are investments. It's not really expenses. These are your investments too. Mm-hmm. I hope the answer is Lynette. We got Horace next.
okay. I'm done.
No problem. All right. Go ahead, Horace.
I was wondering about like with the electric bill? What about if you got HOA fees and stuff like that? Is that's something altogether different direction that you're not going to want to get into right now?
But if it's HOA, that's under the mortgage, which we understand that's connected.
Okay,
You
so
see what I'm
that was
saying?
under
So
your
that
revocable.
exactly, exactly. That would be under the revocable.
Okay, and also I just as a quick question, uh, could you articulate practically if it's better practice as you're showing us to do this under trust entities instead of the social? Is that better with dealing with the IRS, or is there a particular reason why one or the other, one over the other?
Well, no, it's not. It's really just getting you out of using your name in the,
Oh,
the social, because they have jurisdiction over the social name and they have jurisdiction over the social number,
right.
right? So at any time that we have it in the system that way, that's why they have, which they say more the control, right? Remember the control test we talked about and the court test?
Right. So that's just practically getting out of their system. But in the meantime, for whatever you've done under the social, you can do the beads for those expenses.
It's not an expense. Remember, it's investment.
Investment, yeah.
When you do it in your, so I'll explain the social in just a few. That'll be in your banking system. I'll show you your social in a few is your banking system.
I got you. Thanks, man.
No worries, no worries. We got Alicia. I don't know if Lynn put her hand back up, but we got Alicia and then we got Carlin.
How would this process work if you had a vehicle payment? If you had gotten the vehicle in with your social, are you able to transfer it into the business with the EIN once you get that EIN established? Or is there a different process when you're transferring vehicles?
No, you can't do it because they got it in the name of the social, right? And they're gonna put the title in the name of the social too. The only way that you can do that is you can make the trust a payer in a way. So that makes you as a trustee paying the bill now. So that's another strategy that we'll talk about for those who have those open contracts that they just won't transfer it into a trust or allow you to create a brand new trust. So yeah, you will have to create that entity anyway, and then that entity has to pay the bill on the car.
Okay, as far as getting the title, would you be able to transfer the title into the business name then once you get that title?
No, you keep it irrevocable.
Okay,
Remember,
so
it's a
it's just
tangible asset. So if its title is tangible, right?
uh-huh.
You're just paying the bills.
Okay.
It'll add up. It's just really just your household expenses or your bills for your household. Then you got your expenses for the household too.
Okay, Horace, this is Lynette. I think I got my hand up. I'm not for sure. I probably didn't lower it. How do you fund it?
But we can't get to that. We got to get to the financials in a few, but that's the social. The social is how you get to the funding part. Where right now we just got to get your bills out of your name into the trust.
Okay,
That's the first step because a lot of us are still paying the bills in our social.
that's true. Okay. So what bills are really besides the other expenses, besides the phone, the light bill, the gas bill?
I got a few of them. I'm just giving y'all some key
So is it
ones right
all
now.
the bills? Like you can't put the car insurance, right?
Yes, you can. I'm going to show you some
Yes.
car insurance.
Oh,
Absolutely.
wow. So
Household
any
expenses.
bills that I'm currently paying can be now I'm a trustee managing it
Mm-hmm.
to get paid. Now, how do I get paid? By me working.
At the end of the year, we're going to talk
But the
about how you get those financial.
1099-B.
Exactly. There you go. You get your taxes. You got to file your taxes to get your money back.
Oh, go ahead on. Okay, thanks, Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. This is new to me.
No worries. We want to answer.
Everybody,
I don't know. Some of us are new. We want to
everybody.
treat everybody as this is we're walking you through it all over again. Everything's okay for everybody. And we got Carlin. She had her hand raised next, and we got maybe some other brothers and sisters who want to give some testimonials too as we talk.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, so my question is, number one is our name is not into like, I don't know, you have your name in a trust, but like my name is not in a trust. I made the trust, but it's a different name. Would that still be like it's not done the same way you did it with your name on a trust? So I would just still transfer all the bills the same way, even though my name is not the trust itself?
Well, what you'll do is create a brand new EIN tomorrow and just start paying the bills with that.
So I need to put my name into a trust itself.
Well, your name automatically comes in there as a trustee, which I'll get to in a few. It talks about you being the sole proprietor of the trust. So you're actually the soul of the trust. You're social.
Because I think like from Vince before, what was told to us was that we can like the name, our name don't have to be the trust. It could be like we could use a different name for the trust. So that's why I
That's
had
right. Vince is correct. That's a good advice because don't use your same name for the trust.
okay, so whereas your statement that you're making, like your name is a trust and you transfer everything to your name into the trust, into that trust name, and then now you file the 1099. So how would that apply if my name is not a trust? I know I can put the stuff into a trust name, so I will use that trust name instead in place of my name as
When you
doing the
keep
same.
saying trust name, you're not giving realistic examples. So I'm saying, like, say you get a Verizon today, like go into Verizon. You got the EIN printout from IRS. All right. So now you got to get the phone. So that's why I used that screen before to show the IRS printout is all you needed from day one when you all started the business. Let's go right here. So the IRS says that'll go to the simple return that we'll talk about later. But that is what I'm saying to answer the question. You need that EIN printout.
I have for example, my trust name, let's say CD trust. So, but it's not my name, which is Carlene. Your trust name is your name. So I
No,
will put
no, no.
huh?
My trust name is not my name. The name.
Because the reason is why you're not putting the own name into the trust is because, like he said earlier, they have jurisdiction over one's own name, so you could get into problems with the court. So always use a fictitious name, an own created name, an art name for your trust.
Okay, so the name that I do have is created, which is like CD Trust. So with CD Trust, I would just take all my bills, put it into CD Trust, and then I could file the 1099B with CD Trust.
Yes, under your
Yeah,
trust to pay your
theoretically,
taxes.
if you're a trustee and it shows TTEE if your name there, right?
Yes.
So theoretically, yeah, if you call tomorrow the utility company with that EIN, you should be able to grab that utility bill.
Okay, and since so far throughout the year we didn't do none of that, transfer everything into the trust.
hmm
Um,
That's the
so
funding of the trust we'll talk about in a few. That's funding the trust, actually.
yeah, I do know how to fund the trust, but since I didn't have everything funded into the trust, so we're gonna be when we file the tax return, is gonna be what under our name still?
It's still your name. That's why I'm gonna get you all. I'm gonna walk you all down to show
Okay.
you it's still the social. There's nothing changing. It's just I'm giving you more details to what it looks like to be out of the individual accounts and
Okay.
into the business accounts.
All right. I think I got it. All right.
That
Thank
makes
you.
sense. So I mean, make sure all your individual accounts are now updated. We're not saying you all are wrong or it's bad, and we're just saying, hey, you got to get into the business accounts now.
So they're not gonna give you problem when you calling them to tell them you want to remove the stuff from your name and put it into the trust?
You don't have to say it like that. You just call them and create a brand new account.
Exactly.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it.
Okay, I get it.
You
All
know,
right.
you're not fighting nobody. You just, hey, how you doing? I have a brand new account I'm looking to create. Here's the address. Please tell me how long it's gonna take.
Okay, but some of it, like Verizon, I think they do like a credit check or something. And so if it's a brand new account and it's not like your social. I think some of the phone companies do like a soft credit pull or something.
No. We don't do that. It don't work. It don't ask for any of that. If you use the EIN correctly, it doesn't ask you for any social information.
Okay then. All right. I think I got.
So
All
we'll
right.
we'll get to showing you how I guess the details look for everyone's state or your county, but you have to come in on the business side with your application. That's the first step. So it got to be out of the individual social name. So we got EA. If you have any more last thoughts, Carlin, you
Yeah,
got
I'm
EA.
good. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, my thoughts came about with Carlin, what she was saying. Just to add clarity, Carolyn, was that your living revocable you have the EIN for? Because what, if Wallace, correct me if I'm wrong now, he was mentioning, and this is how you structure it, have that own the new EIN, the one that works for the non-tangible, like the bill, right? So you open a new EIN, have that trust you have currently, if it's a living revocable, as the owner overseeing it. And then that's how you structure it. But then you have to be mindful of the court test and ways to go about it, obviously. But does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I have one or two things into the trust, but I didn't convert my bills. I didn't put my bills onto the trust yet. So yeah, I think I understand what he's saying. I thought he was saying something different, like I needed to make my name into a trust or something similar with my name into a trust. But I think how I did it is he's saying is correct. I don't need to convert my name itself. I can have a different name as a trust and then put the bills in there.
Okay, yeah, definitely have it as a different name. That's the key. But the whole point is you can have multiple layers of trust. It doesn't have to be that one. You have to understand the living is good for the tangible, which is the cars. And then there's other trusts you can have that work in unison. That's all. So you have
Oh,
one now. That's awesome. Now it's about expanding it or properly positioning it in the structure, right? So you did right there. I think there's also a layer to what is your name, and you have to realize how that is a trust and how to use that, right? Solely.
okay. All right. All right. Thank you.
But thank you, EA, for that as well. Thank you all for any input. And we got maybe someone else wanted to give a testimonial. I think Brother 100 Eyes had typed in. I seen his mic was about to go on. And then Alicia, I see your hand as well. So 100 Eyes, you wanted to say anything for us? If not, we got Alicia.
No, I was just saying in regards to when you were asking in regards to the opening up an account, making sure that it's not a individual account. Sometimes they get confused and they don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sure if they do it on purpose or they literally don't know what you're talking about. And when you mention business, it's like they're like, I don't understand. Why do you want to? You already have an account. Why do you want to
I
open
can
up a
hear
business?
everything.
And then you have to let them know you need that individual account closed. And now you want to open up a business account. And if they don't understand what you mean by business, you tell them commercial. When you say commercial, I think a clicking goes on in their brain. So once you clarify that with them, they'll know what you're talking about. And then you follow the whole steps the same way you did if you had an individual account, have the EIN ready and the name of the trust ready, and you're good to go. I land my plane.
Absolutely, man. That's into the financial side we're about to talk about in just a few as we get into the payments of the beneficial interest. Go ahead, Alicia. We got your hand up.
Yeah, I'm just kind of wrapping my mind around this whole concept of layering the trust. So, what is the benefits of putting the utilities into this new trust versus just putting it into your revocable living trust? Is there, I'm seeing that there's different operations for
Huh?
each of these layers. So I'm just wanting
Oh, you
to
know what
make
my
sure I
lighter
understand.
was, nigga?
Oh, go ahead. We just had somebody's mic. Go ahead. Say that last part again.
Yeah, just as I'm structuring my own trusts, I want to make sure that I'm understanding how each of these operate and what the benefits are of layering these and what, so the revocable living trust is like the foundational, it holds everything in it. And then you have these other trusts under it. So what are the benefits of putting the utilities into this business EIN trust, versus just having it in the revocable living trust?
Right. So like I said earlier, tangible assets. Utility bill is not a tangible asset. It's just a bill. So all your bills and expenses go into the trust other that you create. You create another trust outside of your revocable trust, but it still is under your revocable trust because it is a other trust. All right, so I want to make sure we got layers to the revocable trust realm. You can create multiple departments or businesses, we'll say, for the revocable trust. And we use the trust EINs. So we get into some of these layers of how it looks for the bills. So let's also go into some of the financial realm too. So some may ask this question again, and I want to make sure I give all the questions out before I'll get the. Give me a moment. I'm gonna go through the review of what was said on the board for our questions. Oh, can't find it. Here it goes. Okay, so it says, can you still hear me? Okay, I think you still hear me. It says today we will discuss how to use your social security number as a revocable trust. We will also discuss how to use your trust employer for all bills and expenses. So that trust employer I just went over just a moment ago cannot also only be your revocable. You also can create a other trust. So what I'm saying is I recommend that you don't put the bills in revocable, but you can put it in the revocable. But what we're asking, the way we layer it is we create an other trust just for the bills and expenses. All right, so that's the employer. We'll say that'll be the trust employer for all the bills and expenses for the household. What bills can I use with my trust EIN, and what things should I put my social security number? Okay, so I'll distinguish that today, ultimately to show you today what you use the social security number for and what you don't use it for. So you want to not use your social security number for your household bills. First off, your utility bill, your phone bill, your internet bill, your insurance bill, all those bills. What's another bill we're missing?
Water.
But we say utilities. Utilities
Oh, yeah, you're
usually
right.
comes
Yeah,
with
you're
all of
right.
them.
You're right. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Comes with
Covers all,
electricity,
yeah, all of that. Yeah.
gas, electricity,
Right.
gas, water,
Trash.
Yeah.
trash. There you go.
Yeah, you're right.
Sewage.
You're right.
You see what I'm
Hospital?
saying?
You're right.
What
All
for the
right.
hospital bill?
There you go. Hospital bills.
And
Okay.
I had a quick question. I think somebody else had Carlin. She must have had her hand
Oh
up.
yeah. So I just wanted to make sure I got through the part to give you all to the point where you got what things should I put my social security number, and what bills do I put my trust EIN? Go ahead. So we got
Sorry.
Carlin. You go ahead first, Carlin. Then we got you, Lynette.
Okay.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, with all these trusts that we're creating, so we have to file income tax return for all of them? Or is it that like when you have a business, you can do a parent company and sub companies? Or could you file the tax like that?
Right. So if they're correctly given to you, they're going to be saying to file a 1041. So it's
So
going to
you,
say to file the 1041 for information purposes only.
so
But
you
you
got,
still have to get your beneficial interest on your social.
so you have to file the 1041 for all the different trusts that you create?
No, it's for information purposes only. It's not required for you to have to file it.
Okay,
Only if you want to.
so okay, we're gonna have one for the utilities, one say for your mortgage. So you're saying we
No,
don't have
not for your
to file?
mortgage. The revocable trust is for the mortgage. But
Okay.
yeah, so you use one other trust, right? Outside
Mm-hmm.
of your revocable trust. And then you use that for the utilities, for the phone, for the internet, for the everything else. That's your
So,
other trust.
so with the other trust, we don't have to file a tax return for it as well?
That's a 1041. If you correctly get your EIN, it should say you just file a 1041. It's for
Okay.
information purposes only.
Okay, and then this last question, I wanted to know, my daughter, she's about to turn 18. So I wanted to create where I make her name as a business, also get an EIN number and do the trust thing. Is that gonna mess her up or have any conflict when she's trying like when she starts getting her own credit? I didn't want to start her off with doing things under her name so she don't have to go through the whole credit repair issue if anything ever goes wrong.
Right. So the way it works until she's 18, you are the guardian or the parent. So you have to basically be the trustee on her document, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it won't allow her to do it yet anyway. So until she's 18, she can create her own name. But right now, you can create it for her if she's not 18.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. Like she's gonna be 18, so I'm gonna wait till she's 18. I just want to know, is it gonna mess up her regular credit report? Because it's gonna be like if she's applying for stuff in the trust EIN, and then she has now tried to get say she tries to get some type of account where her social. I want to know if these things not gonna merge together and affect her credit report.
No, short answer is no. That's what we're going to get into in the final part as I talk about the financial system, which is
Mm-hmm.
the banking system, which is something that everyone, you're going to get around you're not going to get around the credit information I'm going to talk about in a few. So
Okay.
short answer is no. It doesn't affect your credit, it doesn't affect your credit score or anything. Two unrelated
Account.
entities. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
All right. Well, thank you.
No problem. All right, so we got Lynette and then yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I think I got two questions and probably already been answered, but my confusion right now is because I do have a business EIN and my utilities for the business is there. And I know you stated this is for your own personal household, but when I try to get use the business EIN number for utilities, right? Um, Not for the business utility, because I'm living in I have my rentals in another state. And so I have no problem with using the business EIN for that. But say for my household, which I'm in Texas, they indicated that they don't use EIN for business. In other words, you can't get it set up to put your utilities in the EIN number. So what am I doing wrong?
No problem. What we'll do is you'll have to look at your county and look at your site and see if there's a W-9. That's what they usually ask
A
for
W.
a vendor or something like that.
So in other words, if I get a new EIN for the trust for all the
Hmm.
utilities, I'm in Katy,
Hmm.
and so I'm in Katy, Texas, McKinney.
Yeah. So yeah,
And
we got people who did this in Texas. There's plenty of people who have got the
really,
EIN to work it out in Texas. Yes, correct.
oh,
So it definitely works in Texas.
so I
So
get
yeah.
that. Yeah, but I'm renting out a house here, and I pay the utilities, but they said they don't set it up with the EIN
Yeah,
number.
because you're talking to the wrong side. They
Mhm.
don't. That's another thing. That's why I say if you talk on the phone and you try to talk about it this way, they're gonna say, "Well, we don't do that here,"
So I
or
have
"You
to
can't
say
do it."
business, but is it but they said they don't do business in a residential area. So if
That
it's a
doesn't see. That's because you're talking to whoever you're talking to on the phone.
so what I'm
That's what they.
supposed to say
That's all
I
they're
do
gonna tell you.
business. So what do I need to do to get
You
that?
gotta talk to the business side or go online because
Okay.
if you're talking to someone on the phone, they're gonna always tell you no because you're
Because
you're talking to an
I
individual
tried to
side.
get it set up that way when I changed my electricity, and they said we don't do that for residential. And I'm like, serious? I'm like, no. They said no, we don't do that. So I'll check back and look again, and maybe I have to change over who the provider is, but
No problems. You may have some situations where it could be this way, but just do your best
okay.
and do your research. That's why we want to go with this information. Make sure you all don't have the utilities in your social, if you can, with all your heart.
Okay, I will
You
try
know,
to
do
work
as
on
do as
that to get
best as
that.
you possibly can.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
No,
we
she needs
got
to speak to
somebody
the
else.
business department.
Okay, exactly. That's exactly what we were saying that everyone has to do. So you can't just call the utility company and think that you're talking to the business department. They're gonna always say no, you can't do it.
Mm.
Okay, I
Usually all the
see
time.
that EA said revoke the contract and reinstate it in the business EIN. That's what he
No,
said.
you just have to turn off your utilities. It's very simple. Turn off utilities. Turn off all the stuff like you moving out. Close the bill out, and then turn on the utilities in the EIN.
There you go.
Okay, but I need to call the business department. Business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
That's
If
everybody. It's
hey,
the same
real
answer.
quick, if you turn the utilities off, can
I don't
they turn
have
it back
utility.
on within the same date under the EIN?
You
That's
can if you do it in uniform time. If you do it early in the morning, you say, "Hey, can you get this whole thing, transferred over? This person moving out." That's why we say this person moving out.
okay.
They'll
Mm-hmm.
just transfer it over. It'll
They will.
happen simultaneously. You won't have no time without service. They'll let you know on this date it'll be transferred over.
Okay.
There you go. Blue Nova got experience. See, we got people on here who got experience with this, so we're
Okay,
showing that
Blue.
it'll work for everybody.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's great to know.
Thanks for
I'm
that
definitely gonna
information.
try to get these utilities over.
I know that's
That's
right.
including water bill too.
Mhm.
Absolutely, y'all. So let's give y'all some more diagrams. Now we're getting into the banking system. Now we're getting into the social. So let me show you how the social has to look eventually, where I was able to do it where you can claim the beneficial interest on the business side, which we're going to talk about. Some of those who've gone through our business course, which we call our private banking course, we show you how to do this part with the business. So I'll give you all some insight to the banking system, how it looks for me. I have no problem with showing this right here because it's not anything that's new. It's very old, outdated right here back in 2020. So this will show you an example of the banking system of what you're eventually going to do with your name in the social and the the EIN, such as the trust EIN. So I was saying that when I did the EIN, I was able to work with, of course, the EIN university technicians. So this EIN has its own business or its own accounting system, right? In the banking system. I also have my social. So this is the social security number. As you can see, it says Wallace's business. Wallace's business social security number has a business account. I also have Wallace's savings. So this is my savings. Wallace's saving has a savings account. University Technician's savings has a savings account. University Technician's business has a business account, and so on. This is what I'm saying. Every single EIN, as you begin to build your portfolio and your banking system, this is what you're expected to be able to do once you enter back into their system. So this is required because the banking system doesn't care if you don't know how to do your 1099B. So we're going to get to the 1099B in just a few, but I just wanted to lead you all up to the banking system because this is where the 1099B comes in. Because you're going to get ready to make payments. You're going to get ready to be the payer, right? So the social is the payer as well as the EIN. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So this has to be open in the banking system this way. You have to have this interface eventually if you're doing business. Now, if you're on the individual side, this doesn't look like this. It looks a different way, which I'll explain how this looks in the banking system on like Bank of America, or we have Chase Bank, we have Wells Fargo. All types of banking systems show you the differences of the business side versus the individual side. So any questions or thoughts to this so far based upon the savings? I wanted to go into Wallace's savings because it's the first thing that you're doing with your soul as your sole proprietor. Your saving your sole proprietor is the savings account. So you move all your funds into your savings account. That's what I was talking about. You put all your funds in the savings account. Then you get
And
the business account right here too.
and that's under the social,
Correct. Is it still under the social?
but it's as a sole prop, right?
Yes, that's a
Okay.
business because
Okay.
the social can now have the personal account, and it can also have, right. That's why I say we're not taking away or subtracting anything anyone has. We're saying you also have to have a sole proprietor account in your social.
Both of them.
I just had a
Mm-hmm.
question on here. So since, for an example, I heard you mention some banks. I have PNC Bank, but I have a PNC Bank with my business name, both savings and checking, but I don't have a savings account of the sole proprietor. So I can go here and have the EIN, keep the other business account there, and also have my own sole proprietor savings and business account.
That is correct. That's what you're because you're saving your soul. It's your sole proprietor.
Okay.
You see, but if it's on the
But
personal side, it's just one
I'm
side.
only going to interchange between the EIN name trust, the trust, because that's to me the university check is the trust. And then
The trust other, exactly. The other trust,
the Wallace will be my own sole proprietor.
which is your
But it won't,
social.
which is my social, but the other business name it won't have no impact on that.
No.
Okay.
That's why I'm showing it on the screen. This is how it has to look. There's two separate accounts.
Okay.
You see, because everyone says, well, how does it look? Well, how do I do this accounting? This is your accounting right here, giving you all the whole entire look right here, what you have to get. So your bank that you already have, you need to update your bank to a business.
Well, I have the bank as a business. I have the PNC business bank account. I just don't have the new one, which is the EIN trust and the sole proprietor.
That's
So
correct. So that hasn't updated your bank. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So until
so
you do this, you have not updated your social as the trustee in their system.
no, I haven't. So the trustee is going to be part of the of the university tech, and then this is just the sole proprietor, the that one at the bottom.
This is where I'll get all my beneficial interest at. So then this money right here can fund the trust.
Wow.
So when I get this beneficial interest here that everybody's talking about, this beneficial interest comes in this business account. Then I throw it in my savings. And then for my savings, I move it into the savings of my trust. And then I
Oh,
move
that's how
this
you
into
start
this
funding.
account.
That's how you start to fund it.
That's the funding the account that everybody keeps saying, funding the trust.
But
How
you
do you
can't.
do
Could I,
this?
Okay,
could I
I
say
just want to
something
make
when you
sure that I
finish?
don't try to fund it with my already business account.
No, you cannot use any of the existing things you have. Everything we're saying is brand new. Nothing
But do
that you
I need a
already
new
have.
brand? So this is all going to be brand new, but
This
it's
is
not going
yes.
to. Okay, I got
Everything
you.
that you see has to be a brand new account.
Okay,
So
so
you
there's
can't commingle the account. You don't want to move that money that was in that LLC over to this right here and this over there. No,
no,
no, no.
okay. So
You
I just
see,
open. Okay, so
that's
I'm
a
gonna just
whole
open
different
up a
account.
brand new one at PNC. Okay.
There you go. I want to make sure everybody listening don't go in trying to grab and transfer and move and modify. We're not using any of those words. This is a brand new accounting system.
But you have to find out what the EIN number for the trust got to be. You got to come up with a brand new name.
Right. This is post what I just showed you all. This is where I'm paying those bills that I just mentioned. So if you're already here and you got in late, well, you have to at least prove that you've been paying the trust EIN bills, right?
How do you do
So
that?
you have to start. That's where everybody has to start. So you pay the bills through the trust.
So
And
once
then from there, that's when you get to the part where I'm getting to where you have your banking system.
So your banking system down at the bottom is going to pay the trust.
Yes,
Everything,
the bills.
the bills. So that's what So I will have to fund my sole proprietor first in order to start putting money into the trust to pay the bills.
That's where taxes come in. And we're gonna get there. I'm just giving you all how it looks in the
Okay, I
interface.
appreciate it. Thank you.
You'll
Could
see.
I speak for a second?
Yes, go ahead, Brother Nova. Go ahead.
The easiest way to do this is say you got other accounts, other businesses, other trusts, maybe revocable, maybe irrevocable. Keep them. But what you need to do now, what he's saying, is you open up the sole proprietor. Like he stated in the class he's offered, you open up the sole proprietor and you file that 1040. After you do that, or before you do that, you're going to need to open up a bank account for the sole proprietor. That's what you working everything out of. Wherever your money was coming to now, it probably wasn't a personal account. You don't want a personal account. You want that sole proprietor account, but it's going to look just like your personal account because it's going to say your name. But when you log into it and on your debit card, it's going to say business, but it's going to be your name.
Okay.
That's the first thing. All your other businesses, all you got to do is change the ownership. If you got a cake baking business, the owner of that business is the trust. If you have an irrevocable trust, the owner of that or the beneficiary would be the trust.
Okay. Okay.
That's the easiest way so you don't get things mixed up. More than likely, everyone on the call has a personal account. We should not be using that account. We want to close it out and start using the sole proprietor. You need a checking and a savings. Have all your money in your savings. When you get your check, you hit the lottery, whatever you get, put it in the savings. What you're paying out, pay out through the checking.
Okay. But the checking, once you pay it out through the checking, that money from the sole proprietor will go into the trust.
No, when you pay a bill, it's coming out of your
Sole proprietor.
right, correct. Now, I think I read the comment someone said about Vince's process. Vince does a little bit different. We're all going to the same place, which is the IRS. He may go left, Wallace might go right, but we're going to the same place. And you can't kind of mix processes because it's going to throw you off because one person's going left and one person's going right. Now, you can take the processes and mix them up and do it for yourself, but you can't hold these guys accountable, Vince and Wallace. They're giving you they're giving y'all a lot of good stuff. They're giving you exactly what you should do. It's
Okay.
just that we got a lot of stuff we already done. I already done everything everybody talking about on the phone. Wallace
Brother
is the
Nova.
first person I ever spent. I'm tell you, I spent $430. Got back 25,000. Quick, messing with Wallace. And I done everything the other people said. I ain't trying to brag or nothing. I'm trying to tell you what he say work. So if you bought that class, you know, and he showed you that class, you'll be there. That one
Yeah,
class.
brother Blue Nova. So when we have a checking account, we just can transfer it over to a business sole prop account, right? We just go to the bank, one's own bank, and change it up.
I wouldn't change anything. Like he said, you're opening up a brand new account
Yeah, okay, so close it and then
and get all
reopen
your
it.
money
Yeah,
out.
okay.
Then when you get your money out, you're gonna put everything into the savings. Save your soul. Your
Yes, yes, yes.
soul works for the trust.
It's just so we close it out and then we open up a sole prop business account and a sole prop savings account.
Correct.
Okay, I got it. And the money that we receive when we still have an employer, then we put the direct deposits into the savings account, sole prop savings account.
Correct.
Okay. And the payments they're gonna be transferred over to the trust to make utility payments are gonna come from the business sole prop account.
Correct.
Okay,
I
thank
thought
you.
they were coming from the trust.
The
Yes, they
sole
Right.
are coming
prop
from the
We're
trust.
works for
all
the
saying the same
trust.
thing. Everybody
The
doesn't realize
sole
you're all saying the same thing because we
right.
say
Well, if
Vince's
you can,
process is the same process. It's your social, you all. You got to remember this is the same social security number, the social security card, right?
right?
Just
But I
want to
thought
make
you
sure we put
said
that
you
out
wanted
there.
us to come out of that. But this is getting back into it. Okay, so
No,
this,
you out
Remember,
of it
yeah, I
because
say
it's
you
on the
got to come
business
out.
side.
Right. Right.
When you
You got to
file a
come out.
1040 at the top of the 1040, it say for individuals. So you're filing for the social on the individual. And then when you file for your Schedule C, you're notifying them, I'm no longer want to be looked at as an individual. I want to be looked at as this business. So they're expecting you to act like it on your end. Quit using the social as an individual and start using the social as a business.
okay.
But you're still using the social. When it looks like everybody else, it looks like you're using their source, but you're on the business side.
Okay. I guess
All right, we got
I,
a hand up for segment as well.
go
Once you
ahead.
all
You
get
can
that
go
last
ahead
part.
on. I guess I just gotta, I'm a
Go ahead.
visual
So,
person, so I gotta see the diaphragm of how that, I know you just showed about how it looks for the banking, but I guess I'm a visual learner. So,
Yes, we're just showing you're showing you the finish line so we can show you how to get to the finish line, like the brother
okay,
is going into. Just to show that
okay,
we've already done everything to test it out, to beta test, to experiment. All these things have been done. So for those who are getting new to this, we're just giving you layers of how this looks.
okay,
But we got
okay.
a segment on the mic right now.
Greetings, everyone. Great
Greetings.
information. Um, what if you have a hard time with the bank trying to open up a trust account? Cause I keep getting pushback. Like I went in, I told them I had my trust EIN number, and I wanted to open up an account, and they want to see the trust, and they want to take it through legal before they open up an account. So what if you come into a situation like that?
What bank are you going to?
I went to Bank of America. I
Because
went to
you
PNC Bank.
you can go to well, Bank of America, somebody said you can do that online actually, but Chase Bank, or they used to have an issue, but all you got to do, they have something, a form, it's called a certificate of trust. You fill out the certificate of trust, it's like 1 pages, and you bring it in, and it's really simple. They don't have to send it to the attorney if you do their certificate of trust. So most of the time, most of these banks got a certificate of trust. And sometimes if you don't ask them, they're not going to tell you. They just going to make you give them the trust document. But if you do the certificate of trust, you don't have to go, because all you got to do is fill in the blank and you give it to them, and and it's very simple, like within the same day or something, I think it's set up.
Yeah, but which bank though?
Chase Bank. You can also do it online. Fidelity, Bank of America, I think you can do it online. It's very simple with Truist Bank as well. Truist Bank gives you no problem. I did it with all these banks. I have no problem. At first, I had a problem with Chase, but then eventually Chase had the certificate of trust. And once I did that, it has
So
been
do I request it, or do I give them a copy of my certificate of trust?
no. If you give them a copy, you might not get all the guidelines that they requesting. You're gonna have asked them for their certificate of trust because they have it. And if you don't ask them, they're not gonna tell you, because a lot of them don't do trust very often. So you have to ask them for it.
So you said Chase Bank and what other bank?
Oh,
Well, Bank of America, I think, does it online, so you don't even have to talk to them. If you also Fidelity, it took like 10 minutes, probably not even. And Fidelity, you just do it online and you connect your trust and it gets done right away.
Well, I have you mean if I got a Fidelity account, so I just request
No, the Fidelity, you gotta not, that'll be a separate account. So once you go online, you Google Fidelity and trust account, and it's gonna take you to the section where you do a trust account. Now you're just gonna follow it. It's like a few simple questions, and you're gonna upload your trust, and that's pretty much it. You upload your trust. So you gotta make sure that you on a side where it says trust account.
Yeah, you
okay,
don't
so the
upload
one
the whole trust though. You just upload the certificate.
No, well, Fidelity, you can upload. I don't know if either or, but I
You don't
uploaded
upload
my
your whole
trust.
trust to anyone.
Sorry, huh?
not the
Yeah,
whole
no,
just
you don't
just
upload your whole trust to anyone.
just the
I get
certificate.
what you're saying. Yeah, the certificate of trust is what's normally uh
Okay.
required. And also with the other banks you're talking about, you can do it. You can do it with Charles Schwab as well. They do. I know they do it online. Some banks they want you to set an appointment and come in and sit down and open it.
Yeah, Bank of America,
Sometimes
that's what they wanted me to come in.
If you go through Chase and all of them,
where you located? What city?
New Jersey, I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, you New Jersey. Okay.
Yeah, I would tell
Truist
you.
is Truist is pretty easy. I don't know if Truist is
Lewis
up
is
there.
really easy. Yes.
Yeah, but it's good to maybe if you can get in and even sit with a cool bank manager and get your relationship with them because when you start having those beneficial interest checks, if they are large, sometimes banks give you problems in flagging them. But if you got a relationship with the managers and you let them know you about to get a wire, then you won't get stumble on that part too.
Yeah, tell them.
So
Just go in the
Truist, you
bank.
can do it online as well.
I don't know about, no, I think you have to
Truist
go
is
into
they
the
want you
bank.
to sit down. From my experience, they set an appointment and you
Yeah,
go in.
we don't have Truist here.
Oh,
So
okay,
you can go to Chase or you can go to Bank of America. Just ask them for the certificate of trust and you
Okay.
fill that out and you can email it to them and you don't even have to go in. You fill it out, you email it to them, and then I went into the bank after and set up everything.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Oh yeah, no problem. I just want to make sure that y'all got the whole fullness of the trust side. So like if you go in with the trust instrument, it is going to be a totally different process with that. So you have to go in there exactly like they're saying with the certificate of trust and everything. Now, if you use the sole proprietorship, that's what we're going to be showing on the screen in just a moment. The IRS gives you this sole proprietorship layer two where you go in through the business account. But in this time, you're going to be using your social to open up the business account also. So you have the personal account that Vince will say that Vince said already that you have, right, to do the beneficial interest. You'll also be able to create the sole proprietor account on the business side. So you'll be able to create two sides of your social. That's what we're going to start saying to make sure you fully understand how the IRS sees it. So you have the 1040. You're going to have to make sure that you have the sole proprietorship activated through the IRS as well, which we'll talk about later, which we get into your taxes to get the 1099B as well with your sole proprietorship. So this is where you'll be placing the 1099B. It'll be placed on the 1040 tax return here that the IRS says that you'll be filing as the trustee, which is the sole proprietor. So the sole proprietor actually is very important for you to stay unincorporated. So the reason I always say sole proprietor is because the IRS shows me what the sole proprietor is. So let me read what the sole proprietor is just to kind of make sure we fully grasp where it's not getting you into the corporation side. So the sole proprietor is someone who owns an unincorporated business by themselves. So that by themselves person is the social security card. That is the social security number when you go into the bank. So you're not going with the trust EIN. You're not going in with the certificates of trust. You're not going in with any other documents. You're going to go in with just your social. So once you have your social, that is the one that you open up the business account first. When you go back into the bank the second time, you then go in with just your EIN, your certificate of trust, and all these different things. That way we can layer it to make sure we see that you have multiple accounts. We're gonna say there are multiple accounts that you're adding to your banking system. Any questions or thoughts to this? Because this can be seemingly difficult to understand unless you see the screen where the IRS is telling you to do this information. So go ahead if you have any other thoughts to the part with the banking system so far.
I have a question. Do you have to use your birth name to open up a sole proprietor with your social, or can you use use another name as sole proprietor with your social?
Right. So you're going to be using that social security card name and number,
Okay.
right? So that card that you have that basically they'll say the SSA, the Social Security Administration.
Mm-hmm.
So you go in with that card and you're opening up the business account.
Right.
All right. I know it sounds very new. I'm not saying that is anything that I'm not knocking anything with anybody's hearing this, but I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
this is the business side to
Right.
the social. All right.
Right. Okay.
So that's why I
Hey,
went on the
Bob.
screen. So I want to make sure I was clearly showing you on the screen when I said to open a business account at Chase as a sole proprietorship, it said follow these steps. So all I did was click on the screen and it led me to get started. And I went to how you can save your soul right here. So your sole proprietorship is let's open your Chase Business Total Savings Account. And they tell you right here what to bring in, your driver's license, state ID, your social security number, and a mobile device that works with a camera. All right. So I'm giving you all some layers how it looks for them when they open up the business account. Oh, go ahead. We had a thought.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering, is there any questions the bank asks because you coming in with the social, opening a business account?
Remember, if you're going through their website, you explain it this way to them, then you make sure you do this because most of the time, that's why I tell people, and we got multiple people who have taken this banking course with us. The first thing we tell you all to not take it personal. All right. So don't take it personal if you go into the bank. All right. Most of the time, they're going to make it, well, you may take it personal by going in, just by going into the bank. So what's another way of getting this? They tell you to do this online. Try to do it online as best as possible or call the banking system, the bank person that deals with businesses. Because some of the times those people that y'all talk to when you walk in, they are not specialists for businesses. They always are specialists for the individual side. So if they ask you for your social and they run your social to see if your credit score is good, that's when it's not on the business side, I'm telling you. Because they
Okay,
don't need to run your social to see if your
not
business score is good.
not even if you open up a sole proprietor, they don't need to use your social security number.
They don't, no, 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 no. You're not hearing it. You're gonna use the social security number, but you don't need to use your credit score, your FICO, right?
Oh,
Your Experian, your Equifax, your TransUnion that we all keep using. That's the individual side, which I'm gonna show you
Yeah,
all
that
in a
part ain't
few.
gonna matter.
That's
but then
right.
don't they want you to do if you're going to come up with as a sole proprietor and you put your name, like say my name is Lynette Boswell, but I'm doing business as DBA. Do they want you to have it named like that or just have it? Can I have, like I saw your little screen print, your screenshot just says Wallace.
Right. Right. So I went in with the other ways that some people say that you can use the Minnesota, the assumed name. You can use the DBA of your state if they ask you for that. But right here, Chase didn't ask y'all for any of that. They just said your driver's license, your social security number, and
Yeah,
a mobile device.
it's maybe recommended also to just screenshot this website and take it into the bank to prove to them that this is the only these are the only things that are required to open up the sole prop, so that they please follow their own rules. And this is maybe how you can take away their weapons.
Okay.
You're not gonna have no problems.
You don't
They
even
not
gonna
gonna
do
give you no
that.
problems.
Yeah,
You need just what they said, your license. They already know it's a sole prop. It said right there on the screen.
I
Well,
went
you
to
got
Chase,
your
I
own
did it,
name.
and I didn't have any problem. All they did was look at the Secretary of State and saw my name, and they set up the account.
Oh, so they didn't ask you
Correct.
what you were doing, what was your sole proprietor doing?
No, they don't ask you none of that. They just the ID, and you give them your social, and if the person that was doing it at first, he was a little confused, but the other tailor came and helped him out and said, no, you just set it up like a regular business account. He looked at my name as Secretary of State, and that was it. And they set up the account within a second, like whatever time I was there. It wasn't even long.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Mhm.
sorry, just very quick. Somebody can tell me, is Chase Bank recommended for sole prop, or can it be any bank?
It can
I got it
be
with
okay.
both
Well,
banks,
I did it with,
Chase
yeah.
and Bank of America. Is the
Why y'all,
process the lady said exactly.
why do you
Y-
suggest those
Okay.
two banks?
But we
You
got two.
Credit
We got a
unions.
couple of hands up too. So y'all, we got Empress segment hand. I think her hand was already up. We got EA. His hand's been up for a little bit. So we want to make sure everybody get the thought out. Was it? She already had her hand up.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't need it. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead, EA.
Yeah. Okay, so why those banks? Probably because they're more popular, they're more common, they're more familiar, they're closer by. Some of the other places are good for trust. They don't ask as many questions. But Wallace, I had a question, bro. It's like one of these entities is where the service we provide goes through. Is that through the social or is that through the trust? Because that part was a little, where do we provide the service? Through the social?
You're providing a service through the trustee, which is your social.
Hmm.
All right. So the trustee
Okay.
of the trust that you have paid your bills for that I showed you all earlier is where you're using the banking system now. So you're going back into the banking system so that you can create this business account. So either way, you can do it on both sides. I'm showing you how to do it where, let's say you're on the personal side, you can still do it that way, but we don't recommend you stay on the personal because if you take it personal, then it's still the individual. So we say move it over to the business. That's why we go to Bank of America and we give you all this example of the business accounts. So this is also where we get to the part where you can show how to open up the accounts and the credit cards. So I wanted to get to the credit to show you from last time I went into the credit before. So some of us are new to this, but we've never seen how you're building your credit. And this is all through the sole proprietor as well as the EIN. So let's say you open up that trust account with the EIN. So it's the same process when you go to the bank with the EIN, even if it's a trust account. So we want to get to that part and answer that question to make it easy for you. It's a social security card account and a EIN trust account also. That's already, so all of us already got a personal. We're not saying that, hey, get rid of it. You don't have to, but in eventuality, you may get rid of it. But for now, we're saying you have to open up brand new accounts. These are all brand new accounts. All right. So do not transfer the accounts. Don't say, hey, I'm going to transfer it to the sole prop. I'm going to do all these things. It doesn't work. They're not going to transfer you to the sole prop department. You keep the personal account open and you also create the business account. That's what we're saying today.
Com Completely. My only thing, Wallace, I get that part, would be I remember you say how either the trust or the business social sole prop has to provide a service in order to be looked at. Now, I know with university technicians, it's through the trust. Is that right? The trust provides the service?
That is correct. That's why I said to you all earlier in my previous screens, I said to get that trust EIN, right?
Right, right,
So
right.
you
I
can
got
prove your employer and how the trustee's working for that trust EIN. And it's an other trust. So it's
you.
not
Okay.
changing anything. I'm adding and updating. It's the same process. Is you still got to do your 1099 ABB. You still got to do all your 1099s. You still got to do your taxes the same way you were doing with your social. But guess what? This is an additional updated step that we didn't know about because the business side of Bank of America is sitting right here. I'm showing you all right here in real time. It's right here showing you the business side of Bank of America, right?
All right.
And you get your credit cards, right? Anybody asking questions about credit cards? So yes, these are your credit cards, but they're not going to run your social. Just for those who thinking they're going to run your social for the credit cards over here, they're not going to run your social. They're going to run the business now. So that's why I'll get into how they're gonna get to the part once you do this correctly. you'll see your DUNS number and all those things showing up on your Bank of America account. So your social has a DUNS number that you all don't know about yet.
But
So
you
I
already
can't get
have,
to all these answers until you all walk through this part that I just showed, which is the, building yourself, which is your social. Build yourself up first. Then you all
So,
can build up those trusts.
so
Go
your
ahead.
your Social Security already has a done number?
Oh yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. What that what you saying? Yeah, that's right. Build your DUNS number up.
And
don't
that
you
is
have to be a
using
co
that you building your DUNS on as a sole proprietor under your Social Security number.
Well, when it shows up, it's gonna show under your social on the Bank of America.
Oh,
with the credit card? They're not going to give it to you if you're not a co-signer, right? And you have to use your credit.
But this is the business side. They're gonna ask you for $1,000. You got to bring in $1,000. That's why we say start off with a secured
Oh,
credit
the
card.
secure. Okay.
but if you have $1,000, you have to. That's what they want you to put in there,
Right. You got to pay your bills, right?
right?
How you gonna pay the bills for the trust that we just talked about? So I'm answering all of y'all questions like, well, how do I pay the bills in my bank account?
I just look
And
at
you
that.
funded your truck.
There you go. Thank you.
There
I've been
you
waiting
go.
for somebody to say that.
But I guess I'm just looking at, do y'all have any other options of banks that don't charge as much high fee with Bank of America and Chase? They charge monthly fees, so you gotta fund it more. You gotta keep a certain balance, or they'll take that $15 a month. Because I have it with
Well,
my other business account.
no problem. We're gonna get to file your taxes. We don't. It doesn't matter what bank you have. We're not taking away your bank, saying your bank don't work. We're just telling you update your banking system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We got
Try
C.
credit
Candy.
unions.
I
Yeah.
got Navy Federal. I heard somebody just put on. I got Navy Federal. I got too many bank accounts. So like so, I got.
Yes. Yeah. You got to manage them all. Manage them
I
all because we're
know
gonna
that's the
talk about
thing.
those in a
I
few.
got Fidelity and Vanguard and all of them. I got too many of them. Okay,
All right.
so let
Right. For
me.
illustration, for those who just starting right here, if this is your first time, you don't have no banks, no business bank accounts. This is your first time. Then let's say your bills cost about $1,000 to pay some of y'all bills. Then use this credit card right here to pay your bill. This is what I'm going to show you how you can build your credit and pay your bills at the same time with this credit card. So that's why we say use the social security number to still pay these things as the beneficial interest is built up. So you're building up your credit history and you're building up your DUNS number side too. So it's not changing nothing. It's not taking away anything that everybody's already doing. Just want to make sure I reemphasize this. Right. So you use Bank of America as the example because most of us know about America. So when people come to America, they think about what? Bank of America. So you build yourself up, you build your credit, and from there, you're going to start seeing your DUNS number show up with credit building.
Oh wow.
All
Oh,
right. Over time, as you go through this, it will show a DUNS number connected. So from here, you can also go into the higher levels of your credit, which you can get into the loans, which we talked about last time. We talked about your loans. Those go to the secured term loan. I tell you to go to the secured term loan. So that's when you get into your $25,000. So we want you to have at least 25K that you want to deal with when you're starting to get to this level of business. So we need you to go to the highest level of funding first. Then you go down to the lowest one, which would be where you can go to the cash secured line of credit. So that's your next one, cash secured line of credit. Now they're going to ask you all to make so much amount of money per year. That's where your tax returns come in. That's why I'm getting to these answers to walk you all down through their banking system. Because eventually, even when you get to their banking system, you want to get credit or you want to get money from them. They're always going to ask you for those tax returns. So right here, it's going to save great for small businesses with at least $50,000 in annualized revenue and 6 months in business. So you have to prove that you've been in business more than 6 months once you get to the banking system. So I'm going to show you how you do this. You do it through your tax returns. And you're going to do this where you're going to prove that you're making over $50,000. So if you're here and you're saying you make less than $50,000, this is a problem. I want you all to make more money. Stop saying you make less than the amount to run a business. And I yield for a moment. Give me a second.
I'm confused on that one.
It's like you making money right now. But you claiming all your money on the individual side. That's why we all getting taxed as much.
Oh,
When everybody look at a rich person, they be like, Donald Trump don't pay no taxes. He ain't did no magic. He just don't put nothing in his name. So what Wallace did, I'm gonna tell you a magic trick, because I filed taxes with an S corp, a LLC. I got a church. I got all that. I got a irrevocable trust, a revocable trust. But when he put that sole prop in that computer, it do a totally different thing I ain't never seen before. That's what's going on here. When you activate that sole prop, it's doing something I've never seen
I
before. Your
never heard of
credit
that at all.
change.
I've
Uh,
Y- Yeah,
what you say?
I would like to include that it's very important in America to move as an entity. If you move as an individual, you are always liable. You will always be taxed. You will always be pushed down. But as soon as you move as an entity, you have leverage, you have rights, you have, yeah, there's just more space to
But what
yeah,
about
to
your
engage in
liability, though?
commerce.
What about your liability? Don't you
What
still,
liability?
you won't have no liability if you're sole proprietor?
Listen, if you got a business and you do something, you liable for it.
Yes.
You can't get
No.
around it. They always the same way you got the business. You had to give them your social to get that EIN.
Well,
When it
my,
come down, when it come down to it, they're gonna look for you. But what you don't understand is when we get to the end of the year, that's the good thing. Anything that we owed out, we're gonna get beneficial interest for it. But we setting ourselves up for it now. And
so it'll
now
be,
is the time to file taxes. So it's almost like the more you owed out, the more you're gonna get back, whether it's
oh,
debt or income.
okay.
If
So
you do your
basically,
taxes yourself, when you look at the form, it say income and expenses.
right.
Ain't that both sides of the ledger?
Yes, it is.
When you go on that tax thing by yourself and start typing that stuff in and answer them questions, it's gonna tell you right then what was your expenses, what is your income. And like he said, if you set your trust up for your house, you know one of the expenses is light bills, one is water bill, one is homeowners insurance, rent, maintenance on the house. We writing all that off on our taxes.
Okay.
But you ain't gonna do nothing if you on the individual side. So you gotta set yourself up on the sole proprietor side as a business. So now every time we using that social, we only using it as a business, a
Oh,
sole prop.
okay. But when you file your taxes, you only have to do the 1041 to file the tax
No,
on the Schedule C.
no. The 1040 is you file first for the social and then you attach the
It's,
Schedule C to identify the sole prop. The
okay.
1041 is when you file for your trust.
Oh, okay. So when you file for the 1040 with the Schedule C, that probably wouldn't be a beneficial to me for 2027 tax, for 2026, because this is the tax year now, if I'm going to open it up with the sole proprietor, because my current business is on my taxes for my Schedule C and Schedule E.
You did a Schedule C with a tax preparer,
Well, I have a Schedule C and also for a Schedule E, because I have
you
rental.
and you did it on your own. You didn't do it with the process Wallace showed.
Correct. Nope.
You need to, that's why I can't say, you need to get the process, and when Wallace show you, it's gonna blow your mind because you're already messing with the Schedule C. But when he show you how it all adds up, that's what I'm telling you. You will not believe it that
Well,
it's
so
been
you're
there the
saying
One
whole
that I
time.
second.
can get the schedule, I can do this for 2025?
Yep.
Yes. It's just I would
Oh,
recommend you
really?
that
Before I file my taxes?
uh,
Oh my gosh, this
No,
is,
we can actually amend your taxes for you too. So for those who probably say, "Well, I already filed my taxes on the individual side," we can amend up to 2 to 3 years back
oh,
and
that's,
add your sole proprietor updated. So it's nothing wrong. We just
But I
want
gotta
people to
get the
update
sole
it.
proprietor update. I have to get that because I don't have that sole proprietor yet.
Right. So that's what we're going to get to next week. We're going to talk about how you're going to add up all your bills, your expenses, all your debts. And most of the time, you're going to overcome this $50,000 threshold.
When
So we
I
want you
think
to
I
get the
can come
total year.
within how long? Because you said if I sold sole proprietor, I don't have at least 50,000 yet.
Well, no, you need to have over 50K if you're a sole prop. Just instantly, just by default, if you're doing business, it's over 50,000. So we don't know who you are. If you're saying you're under 50K, that is not a
Well, under
business.
my other business, I'm at 50,000.
Well, that's what we need you to update to this part to get you over 50,000. That's why we're saying this. Look at it, says build and strengthen credit while growing your business. That's why we tell people to get this secured credit line. Start off with a secured credit line or cash secured line of credit. So, like you say, your bank account turns into a cash secured bank account. That's what this is right here.
Oh,
And it's a business. So, like every time I have cash in my bank account, I put cash in there. It is now creating a secured line of credit.
credit.
All right.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
then $50,000 of credit I have, I'm building that credit up. I'm gonna use that to pay off all my bills.
How you
You
gonna
guys
get?
got to prove it. You got to prove where your money's going and where your money's coming
Well,
from.
that's what I'm doing with my other business. I think I'm getting confused because of the sole proprietor, and I got an LLC. So my
Right. Right.
LLC,
We're gonna be able to help you merge those under the revocable living trust. But today we wanted to talk about how you work for this employer.
okay,
So I
okay,
understand your questions is more of getting started with the trust and the revocable trust, which I understand a lot of us may be started off with that.
okay, okay, gotcha.
But
Okay,
I
well,
wanted to make sure that you
okay,
had the social security number covered too, because this is the social security number we're talking about right now.
that's my social security number under sole proprietor.
Right. And we have $1,000 line of credit, at least.
So I have a deposit $1,000 in there for this unsecured.
No, it's not
Oh,
unsecured.
that's the
It's,
deposit into for the secured account.
that's right. That's for all of us who are here. So if you pay your rent and your rent is over $1,000, right? Because I'm just tell I'm talking, I don't know who I'm talking to. If your rent is over $1,000, you need to make sure you're paying the rent out of
With
that
this account.
secured credit line.
Okay,
Right.
okay,
This is how we're securing cash at this point.
okay,
This
I
is the
got it.
next
I got
level
it.
after the beneficial
If you, I
interest.
got it because I'm paying my okay, because okay, I got it because that's my rent is coming out from my other personal account with Navy Federal.
Ah, you see what I'm saying? So this where
Get
they got
rid of the
jurisdiction.
personal account and change it to the sole proprietor.
Okay, I will get it. Okay, I will go and open
Yeah, I'll
one
take that.
with Navy Federal, and then I will have all that being transferred over. Just not close the other one account, but um take money out of that deposit and start putting it in there.
But we got to make sure everybody has that EIN too. So the reason why we started from the beginning to show those bills that I showed from the beginning, those bills were not in my social.
Right.
All
So
right. So I want to make sure we're
I
walking
have to
everybody
get
down on
that
this.
EIN number first,
Mm-hmm.
and then any other bills will go with that to pay. And then I have the money being deposited into the sole proprietor account and the deposit to pay those bills.
There you go. It's a
Okay.
flow.
Who is
It's
it?
your money flow.
It's my money flow, right? My cash flow. Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Your money that you got from the
And that
you
money
already
can
done that.
be given back at the end of the year with the 1099.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand. Because some of us may not have the
Beneficial
full faith in that.
interest.
That's it. If you don't believe that you are let me say it like this: if you don't believe in the B, then it may not work, right? The whole point of doing all of this that I'm saying is to still get the B, right? The B. You have to still file the B because it's going right to your money pool. Remember, I showed the money pool right here, showing how you're going to get your houses and your cars and your credit cards.
Oh, okay.
All right. So this is how it looks. So when your beneficial interest comes in, it's going to go into the money pool.
Okay.
And then the money pool is going to go ahead and get the house. The money pool is going to go get the credit cards. And the money pool, it will get the cars.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's where this is coming from.
Okay, Blue indicated that I need to talk with you later because of the fact that I haven't filed my taxes yet, and I've been filing my
Yes.
CPC, with
Hmm.
my own LLC. Well, because I have rentals in the Schedule E, and how to get that to show before I file my taxes for
Well,
20.
no, it's separate. That's the thing. You're thinking you're commingling the LLC with your social. So we don't do it that way. We take the LLC off of the social, and you create another tax filing with the LLC by itself.
But I
And
have
you,
to show on the Schedule C, on the
I'm
Schedule
telling you, I'm
E.
telling you, this is why we don't do it this way. That's what is led by the CPA or the accountant that you're using. We don't do it this way.
You
We
don't.
DIY our method.
Well, how
This
do
is
I
why you can't get your
file
full
my
beneficial
taxes
interest.
then?
If you take the class that he offers and he shows it to you, it's gonna make sense to you. But it's not gonna make sense until you show you.
Okay, well, he got to send me that link to the class.
Yeah, have your accountant do your LLC taxes with just the EIN. It
Okay,
ain't
I have
taking
my
no money.
accountant
It
do
ain't
the
taking
L.
no money out of nobody's pocket. Just for making it clear.
Oh, okay. So just
Everybody getting paid.
so just have my CPA do their LLC separate. Don't put it on my.
Hmm. There you go. Look at that. I just solved the problem for a whole bunch of people just right there.
Just take the LLC off of it. Don't
Do
even
it
put it.
then.
Don't. I'm not gonna do a Schedule E. But the thing is, if I don't want to owe no taxes.
Let's see, you're still thinking you're not finishing. You're thinking that you're not going to be able to do it. So you got to file your taxes with your social after you remove the LLC from there, so that you don't get taxed. That's why we're doing it this way. So we'll get you to why the money has to flow through this, or they're just going to take the money through your taxes owed, which I don't want to happen to y'all. Because if you don't do this right, even the cash that flow through your account, they're going to tax you because you got to make sure you're in the right accounting.
But this is for 2025 year. So
Right.
how did that go? How will that look for 20 filing for 2026 on that? And I
Rem-
have to file a Schedule C.
You got to have this again. So let's go
So
back to
that
where that's
goes
why I'm walking
first
y'all back.
before we do anything, but we can go back. But even if you create the trust before the date and the bank account before the date, how do I apply the Schedule
Hmm.
C with all those bills?
You will amend the tax return once you have the EIN in your hand, and you go back 3 years, 2 to 3 years. But
So
you
I
got to
don't have
have
to
the
file no
EIN in your
taxes
hand.
then for 2025.
Right. That's for anybody listening. That's, so you got to have the EIN in your hand. It has to have the date that it was made on the top. That's the date your business and your employer was open. Your
Okay.
employer, you work now, you work for your employer because you got an EIN printout in your hand. All right. So I'm making sure that's very clear that you working.
Okay.
And then from there, you now can claim your beneficial interest as trustee
So I'll just
for that
wait.
trust.
Right. I'll just not file my taxes for 2025.
You would file for 2025, which is now, and you would go back after you file 2025 to 2024. And then
Oh,
after you file 2024, then you go back to 2023.
oh, but I already filed 2024, so I just have to do an amendment for 2020.
Ah, that's it. You will just
What if
amend it.
2025 shows that I owe?
Well, you gotta use the beneficial interest to pay it off, or rewrite it off with your sole proprietor.
Okay.
I know all your answers can be answered once you're doing the software. That's why we do it in real time. We can't
Oh, you
give
got
you
a
all the cookie
software?
cutter. Yes, we have a software. You can get this done the same day. Everything that I'm saying.
Yes, I wanted to say earlier that
You have the
you
link
have
for the
to use
software?
you have to use the software, and then you will maybe better understand what he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what the cost of the software.
No, it's 1099 free tax I forgot.
Oh yes, and no problem. We're gonna walk you through. No worry. I know this is your first day, and this is a
Yeah, this
lot
is
of
my first
knowledge,
day.
information. But we're just glad that you hanging out with us and you asking these good questions. A lot of people may not have been able to ask these questions. We got Empress Setman had her hand up again.
I'm so
Go ahead.
sorry, though,
Yeah.
Wallace. Thank you.
Now go ahead, Setman. I see your hand. I didn't know if you had it re-raised again. No problem. So that'll be that answer for that. I wanted to go to the answer that you mentioned earlier just to kind of get a full walkthrough of this because this is your full beneficial interest you're claiming after you have that EIN still in your hand. So it's the same stuff you claim beneficial interest the way you do with all your bills. But now let's say the bills are in the trust EIN. I'm saying you can also claim the beneficial interest from those bills that are in the trust EIN because you're using the social as a trustee. So that's really the full answer of what I'm trying to get to for today. So I hope that helps with some of those who are getting started into the trust information, because it doesn't change anything. It just enhances what you're already doing and allows you to manage and multiply and maintain many businesses. We'll say the trust is a business, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Makes perfect sense, right? Oh, we got Madu TL. So he's an example of using the software going back 5 years, and you can do these things, yourself. It's a DIY process. So we don't want you all to get caught with the CPAs or the different things saying that you have to go through the way they tell you. You have to do this part by yourself when it's your social. If you have a business, then have the CPA file the taxes for your business EIN separately. And that's to solve our issues with the accounting. Go ahead, Madu DL. You have any thoughts for us?
Yeah, how you doing, Brother Wallace? I got a letter. I got a letter yesterday uh, in regards to 2021 again. It just says if you want to leave a tip on and, it's press no tip. But I had already verified. But on the back of the letter, it said something about uh, the trust. What did I do a trust back when I did for the 2021, and it talked about it asked me to do 2848 in the form 56. This would have said on the letter. And of course, it had their other websites and whether it's identity or if you ever had any problems with that. I had already told him that, but it seemed like they sent me another letter asking to verify. But this time they talked about uh, power of attorney, 2848 and form 56. So they were asking me about did I do a trust. I have not did the trust back then, but they asked. It's almost like they asking me to send in the trust, or if it's a third party or somebody acting for me who has a trust or done a 2848. Because the other letter that I had to ask to verify when I went to the office, uh, there's some different information on this letter I got yesterday dealing with 2021 because the representative said that would be their largest refund. It's almost like they have to say that they make that last. But they're asking me questions about the trust in the form 2848 and the form 56 that they're asking me to send in. I think it was kind of weird. Oh, but that was part of the 5 years. Can you hear me, brother?
Oh yeah, I'm here. I just want to make sure the mic was like it was some music playing. I was listening to what you're saying, and I did put something on the screen. Let me stop the share
Yeah.
for you. I had the form 56 showing on the
Boy,
screen.
it went out. Wait a minute. It's back in. Wait a minute. Um,
Yeah, it was
it's
some
here
music playing in the
now.
background. So there we go. So the form 56, you brought that up. And I always like to give an example. This is an outdated one with the 18th birthday. So we did update it to the last 2 to 3 years that you filed back. So the 18th birthday no longer works in their system. They say they want you to make sure that you do it the last 2, 3 years. That's why I went into that earlier to show how you backdate when you have that EIN. So since you asked this question, I gave you all this is complimentary, and we'll be getting ready to close us out soon because this is a lot of information that we have to digest that deals with activating the soul prop as well. So the EIN is also going to be activated when you go back into their system with the Form 56 through the IRS. So this doesn't mean that you have to go to the State Department. You only go to the IRS with your trust. Don't go to the state. We're saying that I have to get the state to give me, or the county or anything like that. It's always the Form 56. Next is you're going to do the DBA for your trust EIN. This will also activate your employer in their system. Only do that if you're actually going to do business. I don't recommend everyone do that. So if you're actually not going to be doing business, transacting bills to be paid through that name, then don't do that. But if you are ready to do that and you start making bills in that name, then do a DBA for the trust EIN, and you can then use that certificate of existence or certificate of status for the state. So that'll take you out of the jurisdiction of the state as well. If you do both, or you do one without the DBA. So I want to get to this part to show how all this is powerful, because it goes right into the instrument that I mentioned earlier. So when you get to the authority I was telling you about is coming from that revocable living trust. So at the end of the day, you have to choose revocable living trust, or none of this information works. So, and make sure as a foundation for those who listen in to everything we spoke of today, if you do not have the revocable living trust correctly set up the way we're saying, it's not even a setup, just actually having a valid trust instrument, right? It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you have that instrument, maybe that'll help you to update, amend, and have this authority. But if you don't have this instrument, then you don't have the authority at this time.
Right.
But you have to put in that office you took the appointment, and B, we don't do the date of the death because that's the estate. We know none of us have passed on, but we use the assignment, taking office, or transfer that somebody brought up earlier. Said to transfer, that we're saying to not. This is the same information as to transfer. So the transfer of the assets is right here in box B when you get your authority. Next, you have your
You says
nature of the
that
business right here.
okay, and then in about one, so it says E is the I'm looking at okay, valid because the screen was kept moving. Valid trust. Okay, you check that box. Okay, that I know.
Mm-hmm.
And over towards okay, now see
No, and keep
here.
in mind this Form 56 is for the TIN or EIN printout. See what it says right here, right? Identify a number, EIN. So do not be mistaken and put your social here. See, it says not applicable. So this is not for your social. So I want to make sure I made this clear.
It's for the EIN for the trust for
Trust other. That's right.
my trust, my Black Hawk Trust.
Right. Or your revocable living trust. That's right.
Right.
Sorry,
On the
guys.
line underneath said trustee information.
There you go. Go ahead. Somebody had a thought? Because we're going to be closing out in about another 10 minutes.
Could the 18th B-Day be an interference with the trust declaration or trust instrument when you have a different date on the trust instrument?
No. This is coming from the IRS. So we're using the trust EIN printout. So all that information has to match on that EIN printout.
Okay, got you.
You see, because that's where the fiduciary information coming in as the trustee again. Remember, I was
Not
telling you
sh-
how to treat the trustee.
not sure if you guys can hear me. I have a question.
Oh, sorry, somebody had a thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to I've been listening for a while. It's my first time speaking, but I wanted to know how do you get the software to order it?
No problem. So the software to order which part again to kind of get clarity?
Say again?
The software to order, which part are you speaking of? To do the filing of the taxes?
Yeah, and just to break it down, how
Okay,
to get started.
no problem. So how you would get started, this is just answering this question for the Medutiel right here to first get him started with this answer to his question. He needs to give the IRS his EIN of the revocable trust on Form 56. And from that point, that'll give him the answer to what I'm showing on the screen for this. And then from
Okay.
there, some of us may have the other EIN, the trust other EIN that you can use too, right here in this
Um,
same example.
my brother Wallace, and then they mentioned on that form letter I got yesterday, the 2848.
Right. So that right now we only can get your trust updated because the 2848 is your social.
Okay,
So
so send
that's what
this
takes
in
you out of
first.
that.
Right, send this in first in Form 56.
There you go. But this is for the trust.
Right,
You
the
don't put your social
revocable.
on there.
Right, you put the EIN from your revocable living trust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got that.
See, the court appointed people do that when they use your social on that form. That's how you
And
know it's
what,
a court appointed at Form 56. We don't have those.
well, they did ask a question on the on page one about if you did not file your 2021, in which I did because I had already verified that in September before the shutdown. I had already verified it when I went to the office and they looked at the filing. So I already verified. They still had to send something saying if you didn't do the filings for 2021. But since I did, yeah, and I already verified. So do I have to verify it again? Because they were saying, I don't know. It didn't say again. It was just saying verify 2021, which I already did that in September for 2021. I already verified.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem. So if it's online, you want to log into your account online. That's what we do right now, real time for the IRS. So just go back to the main IRS website right here. Just do the ID me information right here, sign in,
yeah,
and check your transcripts on a daily basis, Monday through Friday. You
yeah.
know,
They
check it
told
on
me that
Monday, then
too.
check it Friday.
ID.me. Yeah, I do have that set up, and I
Mm-hmm.
received while they were still processing. It did say still in processing, still
Okay,
in
well then that's
processing.
good. That means you're getting good results because it's still in process. It's
Yeah.
showing that they received it.
Now 2025, I don't so they said if I don't do this and send this in or the identity or whatever, I wouldn't be able to do 2025 if I didn't do what this letter, what it was sent on this letter I got yesterday about when it talks about the trust
What
and
you're showing, you guys need that.
Yeah, I mean, when you say a letter talking about the trust, like I said, you got to do the Form 56. That's
right.
your point where you're at. So you can't move forward until you get that done, and
Yeah,
then
they
we can
asked
move
me.
into your next steps.
Right. They asked me to do that because the other verification letter it didn't have that on there. So this is the only out of the 5 years, the only refund I'm still waiting for in 2021, and it is the largest. It would be the largest amount. What the one of the representatives say for some reason they like to wait and make that last, send that last, but they never did say anything was done wrong.
There
But
you go. That's a
they
good thing.
never said anything was done wrong. Even went to the they always said wait 6 to 9 weeks. 9 weeks came up to November the 17th, but they one representative said they did mail it out, and then they saying no, it's still being processed in November. And then that's when they talked about the 180 days. Even a month
Hmm.
after that was in December. So now I just got this letter yesterday because they know that I'm a sole proprietor. They know all that because I filed this. In the old, they talked about the Schedule C on there as well on the
There you
letter.
go. So that's good. It's showing your Schedule C and your transcripts too, then, right?
Yep.
That's good. So that's what we got step 4, as your Schedule C. Even if it's an amended return we have in our system right here. So these are the steps. Step 1, log in or create freetaxusa.com account. Step 2, fill out basic information for your name and dependents. So if you got children or you got a household, even if the children don't stay with you, you still need to have the dependents on your tax return. So
Yeah.
we'll talk
And
about that for those who have that revocable trust. You have to claim all beneficiaries. You
Right.
also have the W-2s and 1099s. You have to add those on the software, right? So anything that you receive from any company during that tax year, that has to be added for that tax year on there.
Yeah, and I do got a 1099 due for 2025. I do
All
have a
right.
1099. They just got to mail the transcripts out for the job,
Mm-hmm.
and
I just got my
also,
W-2. So you're right. I just
yeah,
got mine like about a few days ago. So you got to wait
and
for that
then
W-2 or those 1099s to come. All right, we
right,
got
and then
Alicia, and we're going to get up out of here after you, Madutiel.
uh-huh.
Alicia, go ahead.
Okay
So
then.
you were saying that we have to put our dependents on our taxes, even if they're not living with us. So if they're living with the other parent and they file taxes on them, how does that show up on the taxes?
No, they're going to ask that question. Does the child live 12 months with the other parent? So they're going to be able to answer that question correctly. It'll say who's going to file or get the child tax credit. That's how it works. But you still need to put that child's information on your tax return, even if the custodial parent has the child. That's why we're learning about guardianship. You got to take guardianship through your taxes too. It's
Okay, so
everything.
I did claim my sons on my in my revocable living trust as beneficiaries. They are beneficiaries of the trust. And I do have a court order saying that I am the one that gets to file those taxes. What if the what if their fathers claim them, even though I have a court order saying that I get to claim them, even though they are living with the fathers?
That's not what we're talking about. We're saying even if the other parent claims the child tax credit, the same other parents is still supposed to put the dependents on their tax return and check, no, I am not claiming the child tax credit, right? So when we leave the dependents off our tax return, it shows that you're not claiming your dependents. That's for all those who are in that situation. Maybe we're co-parenting or it could be a separation because I just dealt with it. My son turned 18 and I understand how that looks. So yes, you have to add that child to that tax return if you're the parent. So that helps with that also goes into child support too, because you're also able to use those tax returns to substantiate child support, which we'll talk about on other calls later on. While the taxes are very important for everyone to always focus on every year. So yeah, this last part we'll close ourselves out with this last knowledge. The W-2s and 1099s you receive from any company during the tax year has to be in your hand before you can file those tax returns. So do not file the tax returns first with those 1099-Bs or those beneficial interests until you actually have those in your hand. If you don't have it in your hand, don't file it because that means you can't prove it. And if you can't prove it, then that means you shouldn't do it. That's how we say it. The
Hey, bro-
W-2s as well.
hey, brother Wallace, I have
Go ahead.
one quick question, right quick. Right after you was explaining the Form 56, you mentioned something about not doing something with the state. You mentioned two other forms, some authority. I forgot the name of the forms you mentioned after.
Oh no, it's like we'll give you that privately. I'll send that over to you and we'll talk more. But let me close this out and then
Okay
we'll
then.
get you all your last questions in just a few. So I'm gonna add
Okay.
this last part, step 4. This is what we wanted to talk about today, mainly for the sole prop. Step 4, add your Schedule C, the business income located in the software. So you all need to learn how to add that business income to your tax returns. That's what Schedule C is coming in at. But you're doing it on your social. It's not in your LLC EIN. It's not in your C Corp EIN. It's not in your S Corp EIN. It's not in your sole proprietor EIN. I'm being very specific. It's not in your sole proprietor EIN either. It's specifically in your social. So you have to add those Schedule Cs also to your tax return in the software. All right. So it's just giving us all layers to everything that you're doing. And the last thing is wait for a specialist to review for errors. That's what we do at University Technicians. We make sure there's no errors before you turn it in. That's what you pay us for. And you complete and submit taxes same day electronically. So we do all this information the same day. This does not take you weeks or months. So by the time you get to us, we're ready to go. It's going to be done the same day. We may do 2 sessions or 3 sessions, depends on if you need more time. So that's the most we do is 2 or 3 sessions, and we break it down. So I want to make sure we got through this part right here first, to give more details to the service of what you do when you use the software. All right, so I want to get into that. That's where this is coming from. Yes, the cost is $530. If you have issues with funding, we can break it down into payments and give you coupons as well. Outside of that, I hope that answers all our questions. Oh, lastly, we don't just let you pay for this service. We do a free consultation to pick your brain before you pay us. So you can't just pay us and, give us the money and then we're just waiting to hurry up and help you file your taxes. We don't work like that. We make sure we do a free consultation first to make sure we got everything together, what you know you're doing. Then you make a payment. So we want to make sure we put that out there as a disclaimer for doing these taxes as well. And all right, and then last thing, I'll close you all out for any last questions. Then I'll be closing us out from the meeting for this week. Thank you.
So, Wallace, as far as the stuff we went over, is, is that anywhere with that material is for us to review over again?
Absolutely. I did this live on YouTube. So there will be a link that's listed on YouTube for about a little bit of time. That link will expire maybe after a week or two. And then you will be able to see those videos directly on universitytechnicians.com/videos. That's where most all these videos will be found at.
Hi, I'm sorry. Could you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I was.
I ain't hear you. I think it went out a little bit. Yeah, I think it went out. Couldn't hear you.
Can somebody, Wallace, put in where we can find this on the YouTube and then also the website?
Yeah, the website is going to be universitytechnicians.com. I can type it in this chat. If y'all want to save the meeting chat, you can save the chat by clicking the 3 dots on the right and click save chat. But I'm going to type in that information is universitytechnicians.com/book. And you want to select the 1040 sole proprietor service.
And that sole proprietor service is $530.
That is correct. That's for 2025. It is not for amended ones in the past. That is it'll be a different cost for that. It will be lower, I believe. Maybe close to 500 or 515 for amended ones.
But I also had a question in regards, just this quick question for me, for filing my taxes. Well, since I had been filing my taxes with the Schedule C and Schedule E, you told me to do with a CPA for the Schedule E for the business. The business income is listed on my previous taxes. So the income that I need to put on the Schedule C will be based on the sole proprietor. But I guess I'm confused with that when I've been doing it with the business. So should I just sign up for consultation?
Correct. Yeah, that'll be the best thing next. And I see that you're listed in some of our notes of the next steps to do. So I'm going to send those notes right here in your chat in just a moment. And then we're going to close ourselves out for this week.
Okay.
So if any comments, just go straight to our website. Click on the live chat so that you can talk to us live. You can also log in right there. It says log in. So create an account, do whatever it takes. That way you can communicate directly on universitytechnicians.com. If you have issues with the app, make sure you also use Wix app. That is the app. If you use a mobile phone, that's another way you can communicate with us. So we just want to make it easy and streamlined for everybody to stay digital. Make sure that you understand how to communicate with the IRS on the digital level. That's what I'm teaching and showing people how to do. So at the end of the day, that you'll be ready for that and it won't be a hard task for you to do this. But thank you all for this week. I gave out a lot of good information, a lot of knowledge that we needed to look into for the social, as well as the trust EINs that we have. We have to make sure that we use these things in a way that's strategic, the best way you know. Go ahead, Bryson, and I'm gonna let us go.
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you.
Great
Thank you as
class,
well.
Wallace. Great
Yes.
class. Great class.
All right, that's
Nightfall,
it.
everybody. Y'all be safe out there. Nightfall.
Thank you.